See what fucking happens. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. I have no idea how to turn on my features, so I'm trying to pull it up on my laptop now. I don't know what it is with my lives nowadays. Once I set it up, when I go live, YouTube erases the settings that I have. The video be upside down, be sideways. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up so that way I can know that you can actually hear me, because I can't view my chat. Where the fuck is it? Okay, hey, I can see the chat. Thank you. I don't know why I can't find it. I'm on my laptop trying to find it on my channel and it doesn't exist. And I'm like, so you here with me, but it ain't. I don't know what's going on. Is this it? Oh, there we go. There we go. I'm in the house now. I'm in the house. Hey, Fatinat. How are you? Let's see. This whole chat is supposed to, so no more debates. You know what? I think that fool gonna debate again. I think his ego will not allow him to not debate, because the media, first of all, is dragging the hell out of him, and that's gonna get under his skin. I'm quite sure there's a lot of people that got fired that we didn't realize got fired. So yeah, but that debate was off the chain. Let's see. I think I got you now. I don't know why I can't see it on my phone. Like, it doesn't give me the option to see, but somehow it's popping up late. So I'm seeing it. We in her. So if it's just me and you, we can just kick it off. You know how I do it. Or somebody else enter the chat. Go ahead and say hi, how you doing, so we can know who you are. It might be my troll. I got one troll now a days that I don't know. I think the guy might be in love with me for real, because he come on to every video I do about the election, and he leave a comment like vote for Trump type situation, and he's supposed to be a black guy. I don't even think it's a real person for real at this particular point. I don't know, because some of the language they use, it just sounds like somebody that's not really inept with education. Put it like that. So if it was AI, it might sound a little bit more intelligent, but I ain't sure. Okay, so I say it's 3 of us in here. Oh no, you know what? It ain't 3 of us. It's 2 of us. The second person is just me, because it's on my own laptop. So as we already know, you watched the debate. I watched the debate. It took me a couple of days to watch it. When I first started watching it, I was so disgusted just listening to that man speak that I couldn't do it. I had to break it down into parts in a couple of days. I don't know what it is about that particular person that when I hear him speak, I don't care what he was talking about, it grates my nerves. So I gotta do it in doses. But what I can say, I thought most I heard a lot of news pundits talk about how she was very prepared and he wasn't prepared. I would have to disagree. This debate, the way that Trump delivered it, was probably the most coherent speaking that he's done in the past few months. He was very well practiced on how to deliver in that debate. What he wasn't ready for, what he wasn't prepared for, was a real throwdown. He wasn't prepared for that. He thought that he could walk all over her, which is a statement that he made before about her, that leaders could walk all over her. He thought it was going to be a cakewalk. So as far as preparation goes, I think they prepped the shit out of him, because this is like the first time that I really understood what the hell he was talking about until he got ticked off and then he went off the rails. But I think he was prepared. It was indeed his intention to kind of intimidate her and show her that he's the big fish in the pond, so to speak. So when it opened up, it was clear that he was trying to not acknowledge who she was. So they both did like a coin toss situation, right? And Trump won a coin toss. So from the coin toss, he got to pick that he was going to do the closing statements, the final statements, and she got to pick what side of the room she wanted to stand on. So when they first both came out, he tried to beeline for his podium. And when she noticed that, she decided to make her way across the floor and introduce herself. Like, she, usually when people come in and just say, hi, my name is, she didn't do none of that. She just came in, Kamala Harris, and like forced a handshake. I really, really think, just from just my visual approach, that he is fascinated with the way she looks. It just seemed like he is enamored with how she looks. He really is. And he is, which is one reason why he wouldn't look at her during this entire debate. Like when he's speaking to her, and he's talking directly to her, he still will not look directly at her. And that's because the man does not know how to control his own fucking loins. His hormones rage out of control. So, and his team knows it. He knows that he does not know how to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think of the word, but he can't control his lust. And I think his team told him to not look at her, because he gonna say something, one, misogynist, by looking at her, because he's all round up in the loins. That's my personal opinion. So both candidates, to me, deflected from a lot of questions that was asked. Trump deflected because, one, he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about, because a lot of the things that was said was about actual policy, not really policy, but what the fuck they platform, let me put it that way. It was about what their platform really stood for, and he really doesn't have one. Like he said, he hasn't even read Project 2025. So he really can't even bounce off of that. Now, we already know that that's his project. It's been too much evidence said over and over again, prior to this being released, how he supports the Heritage Foundation, how they are drawing up plans for what his platform is supposed to be like. He's already said that, and now that the information is out there, he wants to disassociate himself with it. I do believe he has not read all 992 pages. He won't read all 992 pages. But it's alarming to me that as a person who is running to lead this country, that you haven't read it. Because if you claim that you have nothing to do with this, and you know how horrendous, hey Anna, how you doing? You know how horrendous Project 2025 is. Why don't you know about it? Why haven't you looked at it to see how it would negatively impact America? We always do comparisons to Handmaid's Tale, because that is like one of the TV shows that is so closely aligned today with American politics and the state of what this world could look like if in fact somebody takes authority over our government, that has such like a non-conventional way of thinking. So you would think that the person who's in control, or who wants to be in control of this said country, a world, or whatever you want to, however you want to put it, would know when there's factions who are planning to overthrow it. So for him to sit there and say, I don't know nothing about it, I ain't got nothing to do with it, I ain't never read it, that's alarming to me. As if I was a Republican, that would still be alarming to me, because why don't you know? You should still know these things, because as I say, if you're trying to disassociate yourself with it, you should know what the threat of what's in that plan says for the people who you're trying to govern over. I lost my train of thought because I was going to say something else in regards to the preparation. So one of the things I did notice too, that when Kamala Harris came out, within the first 3 minutes, probably 2 minutes or less, say exactly him saying he hasn't read it or won't read it is a mission that he'll just go along blindly. Exactly. That to me, that's the one thing that I've been screaming every time I see something on TV and somebody, and he say he don't know nothing about it, and none of these journalists or reporters that are interviewing him or talking with him will question, why don't he know? How can you say that something that has made such a big stink, not just in the United States but worldwide, because of what's actually in this document, the fact that 200 people that are associated with you by either working in your administration before, or organizations that support or endorse you, that 200 people, 200 of them helped put this project together. Don't that concern you? That should concern you as a person, to say, where the fuck do y'all loyalties lie? Y'all know that I'm trying to be president, and y'all are drumming up some shit that's gonna look real negative for the American people as a whole. Why is he not concerned? That's because he has everything to do with Project 2025. And I told you I got a copy of it. So the whole 922 page, I have not read the entire thing. So far I have been like just kind of sticking to the main things that have been said out there in media. One day I'm gonna have to sit down and I'm gonna really go through it. And I said I was gonna do it on the channel. I just don't know how to put that in play yet, because every time I put up a video, if I do it as a premiere, if I do it as a schedule, before it even goes live, YouTube is already restricting or blocking these videos. So like before we even had this live up, they had already told me that I was gonna have like limited situations with the video itself. Are you feeling better about Kamala taking over? Do you still disenfranchisement? I still feel disenfranchisement in regards to how they did Biden. My issue has never been with her specifically, although like I said, when she first got started running, and she when she first started trying to run for president before her own, I was not team Kamala as far as like my personal opinion of her. But if I had to vote for her and she was the only other option, if Biden wasn't in the race at the particular time, I would have probably voted for her, because she's the next most closely aligned to me. Once she became vice president, there's a lot of things that she did to help improve my opinion about her. So my disdain wasn't necessarily about her becoming the nominee. My disdain was about how they did Biden, and more and more and more evidence is coming out that proves that this was definitely a push to get him out. Of course, he finally came out and said, you know what, I don't want our party to be divided, I'm going to decide to step down. But it was definitely a push to get him out, because I had always said, what was the big deal? Because if he was too old, was basically what they were saying, he was too senile to run, or he wasn't going to make it through the whole term, she was going to be president anyway. So when I noticed that whole push to get him out of office, I was like, they don't want her black ass in there. That was I was instantly saying they did not want her, because if he would have won, which I still think he would have, it might have been a closer race, but I still think he would have won. And something happened to him, God forbid, that he wouldn't make it through that whole term, she was going to be the president anyway. They didn't want that shit to happen. As of right now, from what Nancy Pelosi says, her and Joe Biden still haven't spoke. That she was one of the ringleaders to try to get him out, and they were setting it up where another person was going to actually run. I honestly really thinking that maybe Joe Manchin was the person that they was trying to get in there. They were going to try to flip him back to being a Democrat to actually run. But she's the only person that made sense to me, because she would have stepped into the role if something would have happened to Biden anyway. So the wheels started clicking for me early on that they did not want her either. The push was to get both of them out, which is why Biden came back on 27 minutes later after he told the world he wasn't going to run and said he was endorsing her. It had to be quick. He had to put that out there into the atmosphere in order to get her into office. Now, like I said, over time, a lot of things that she's done while she's been vice president has helped me garner more favor for her. And since she became the nominee, I started doing more research myself. I started looking at old interviews that I hadn't seen, and there's a lot of things about her that like really pushed me over the edge to be all in. I'm still pissed at how they did Joe Biden. Still pissed about that. That ain't gonna change it all. But I am excited about her running. And I wasn't excited at first. At first, I was just content with her running. Now I'm actually excited. I actually feel a sense of joy. I actually look forward to talking about politics again. Because y'all know that at one point I was like, politics getting on my nerves, getting on my skin. It started to trigger me. Now I feel very happy to talk about it. I feel happy to talk about it. And we did like another live that we was talking about the VP picks, and I kept saying Josh Shapiro was my guy. I'm even happy about Tim Walz. I love that dude. I don't know what it is about him. Maybe I'm caught up in the fact, but I really like Tim Walz. And I know that he said that this is his last job. When he accepted the title of being her nominee, he said that this is his last job. He's not going to run for any higher office. So he won't do what Joe Biden did once he gets out to come back in and try to run for president. He claims that's what he's not going to do. However, I do think that she's going to win, and I think that she will stay in the second term as well, which means he will be in as long as she's in. He makes me feel good and feel like I can trust him. Exactly. It's something about Tim Walz that just makes me feel confident. He seemed like he like a family member that comes over to the house and you ain't seen him in a long time and you just want to run up to and hug when you see him. That's how I feel about Tim Walz when I see him. Like, oh my God, Uncle Tim. I ain't seen you in so long. How you doing? You want to know everything about what's been going on, how his health is. You just how the kids doing. Something is flashing in here. It was just throwing me off. I think my light bulb might be blowing out. But yeah, it's something about Tim Walz that is so confident. And I like the fact they do balance each other well. Although Kamala Harris doesn't bite her tongue much, you know what I'm saying? What she wants to say, Tim Walz says it. He says it in layman's terms. She's still trying to be a little bit more, presidential in her answers, and he just puts it all out there. I love that about him. You know how I was. I was all like, why these motherfuckers is always on the defense? Why we are never hitting first? And now with these two running together, baby, we are hitting first. Look, I'm even saying we, because I didn't. I know I'm not even a registered Democrat. I'm a registered independent, and I'm saying we like I'm already a Democrat too. But this party, this pair makes everyone feel welcome. And like there was one thing that I was talking to TR Williams, y'all. She may come to the chat later. I was talking to TR Williams about on Instagram, is that I was hoping that they targeted a lot of these rural areas, because the rural areas are like widely overlooked, because everybody's trying to get those big swing states. They're trying to get these, trying to get the electoral numbers, and they still overlook the people who these policies are supposed to be for. And when she came out, wings and mumbo sauce, hey, how you doing? Okay, you can't stay long. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. It's something about for me. I was like, there's a lot of people that these policies affect directly that aren't hearing the presidents. They being overlooked, and the fact that she's been going to a lot of these rural areas, and Tim Walz has been going to a lot of these rural areas, is hitting on exactly one of the key things I thought would win the state. Because I'm in Florida, there's one I told you I'll be looking up political stats and stuff like that. So there's I'm just gonna make it a round number just so. Last election, there was 1 million Democrats who voted in a lot of the major cities like Orlando and Miami, Tallahassee, Tampa, Jacksonville. Those cities were predominantly blue. But the rural areas had 1,100,000 people come out to vote. So as a combination, those rural areas is what turns Florida red. But then I found out there was 1,500,000 registered voters who don't vote at all. So in those 1,500,000 registered voters who don't vote at all, a lot of them are in these rural areas. And I feel like they don't care about politics because the politicians don't really seem to care about them. And I think this particular election cycle, a lot of what Tim Walz and Kamala Harris is doing is going to those rural areas, no matter what state they're in, and connecting with the people who register to vote but just won't. And now I wish the news cycles that those were the undecided voters that they would talk to, but those ain't the people they're talking to. They're talking to former Trump people who voted Trump all along, people who clearly been supporting, even if they ain't going to the polls. That's what they've been talking to and calling them undecided voters. But yeah, I'm ecstatic about the fact that she is hitting some of these areas, because these areas are really gonna matter. Because this is the first time since I've been here that I have felt positive about Florida flipping. If we don't get close, I think we're gonna flip blue. Just listen to the community around. Now, my neighborhood specifically, I am the only person in my neighborhood that has a Harris Walk sign. But I am the only person in my neighborhood with a sign at all. So I don't know what that necessarily means, but I remember when I moved to this neighborhood, I looked up the registrations, and my neighborhood was 50-50. Like, we got 172 homes. Half people was Democrats, half people was Republicans. I don't think there was a single independent in this neighborhood until I moved in, which is wild considering that I am the only independent. I'm the only person that has like a political sign in the yard. But one of the things I was going to say, when the debate first started, one thing that I love is within the first 3 minutes, Kamala Harris actually put out her platform. She came out speaking about her Opportunity Act, what she planned on doing for the housing, what she planned on doing for the small businesses. She kind of broke down. I ain't gonna even say broke down. She spoke towards what her platform is supposed to be about in the first 3 minutes. I hear a lot of pundits say that they never got to policy. She never talked about policy. I don't know what specifically they are looking for her to say. Like, they want her to outline line for line about what she's gonna do, which is not gonna fucking happen. It never happens. She's only been in the race with month, 2 months at this particular point. Has it been that long? Either way, what exactly do y'all want her to say to you? Hey, Supreme Coven, how you doing? I don't know what exactly they expected her to say as far as her policy is concerned. She's telling you what she's telling you the titles of what she plans on doing. She ain't just giving concepts, which we never even heard what his concepts were. But she's saying, I'm working towards this. Like the part of the Opportunity Act is to give first-time home buyers $25,000 towards buying a home to help towards the down payment. So she's saying what she wants to do. Y'all want her to give step-by-step details about how she's going to achieve that? Make it make sense. I don't think I've ever heard any politician tell y'all the game plan, break down line by line. Her staff don't even know. The concepts of the plan was hilarious. You know what the crazy thing was, until they had said and actually made that statement and asked the question that you were president 9 years ago, you tried to kill the Affordable Care Act 60 times. They went to court 60 times on this to try to kill the Affordable Care Act. What were you going to put in its place? And he had no answer. Still to this day, no answer. He has concepts of a plan. Meaning what? That's like the thing when I wanted to leave my job, and I kept saying, I can't leave my job without having another one in place. Because for me, it would financially hit me hard to do so. That's what it would do to the economy and to people's homes if you took away the Affordable Care Act without having a plan in place to replace it. Everybody just gonna free will it on themselves, you know what I'm saying? Walk into the hospital or a doctor in the hope that they gonna have coverage, because we don't know what provisions are set up for us at this particular time. Man, she the insulin costs and things of that nature, she broke that down, or she spoke towards that about, you know, how for seniors they have capped medication at, like insulin, at $35 a month. All the medical treatments for the entire year will not exceed over $2,000. People who are dealing with serious medical conditions like cancer, just for an example, to be able to be capped off at $2,000 a month when you have like chemo treatments coming up, and then you gotta have the follow-up care and all, you know what I'm saying? That's a lot of freaking money that it's gonna come up with. Like my car accident, my ER fucking bill was $47,000, but under that plan, I wouldn't have to pay more than $2,000 for the whole doggone year. You know what I'm saying? When I have an emergency situation, because that's how that will work. So the rest of my medical care is going to be taken care of, because I've already paid my dues. I already paid my $2,000 out of that $47,000 ER bill. But so she spoke towards that. She also spoke towards the small businesses, giving small businesses $50,000 tax deduction. I really wish it would have been a tax credit, but it's a tax deduction. If you don't are unclear about what the difference is, a tax credit is actually money that will help lower your tax debt. So let's say you got all your money together from all your wages, all your business sources, all this added up together. This is what your taxable income is. So I earn $500 from my job. I earn $500 from my business. I have $1,000 of taxable income. Okay, so from that $1,000, the IRS said I got to pay 10%. That means I'm going to pay $100 in taxes. So the tax credits will reduce that $100. So like the child tax credit, what other type? I think they had the whole credit. I'm not even sure if they still exist because I don't use it anymore. But some other type of credits will help reduce that $100. So a deduction, which is what she's proposing for the business, what that'll do is instead of me having $1,000 that the IRS is going to tax me that 10% on, that tax deduction will reduce the $1,000. And it usually reduces it to the amount of the tax. So if I qualify for $50,000 in a business deduction, I earned $1,000, I have just zeroed out my income, which I won't have to pay taxes on anything at all. So that's the difference of the tax credit and the tax deduction. So I wish it was a credit, because a credit, you could also get a refund of that money, like the earned income credit. That's additional monies that you get back. Now, a lot of people think that the earned income tax credit is going to come out of taxpayer dollars. In a sense, it does, but it doesn't. So, let's say, for example, you didn't file tax returns for 3-4 years for whatever reason, and you actually would have got a refund check back if you had filed taxes. So that means you paid into your federal tax out of your wages or out of your business or whatever, however you do it, and there's money that you could have got back as a refund. Because you waited 3-4 years to file these taxes, you're no longer eligible to get that refund back. You still have to file the tax return, but you ain't gonna get no refund because they have 3-year time limit on which you file the taxes. So that money that could have been your refund is what goes into the pot, so to speak. And that's where the earned income credit money is drawn from. So yes, it is coming from taxpayers' dollars, but it's coming from taxpayers' dollars that people don't claim. That's basically, the IRS is one of the federal agencies. I think the post office is the other one that uses their own income or resources that come in to fund itself. They don't get extra funds from the government, or the government subsidize how they issue out refunds and stuff like that. First time home buyers was another credit. There was some other credits. They had a mortgage interest credit. There was the education credit, which was like the Hope credit, and it was something else. There's another credit. Then they give credits if you like in a hurricane area and you were affected by disaster. They give you credits on that sometimes. It's a lot of different credits that can help. But so the earned income credit, yes, the earned income credit is taxpayers' dollars, but it's taxpayers' dollars that we didn't claim. That's basically what it is. So she gave a lot of those things, and I think, in my opinion, that she decided to drop all of her platform in those first 3 minutes because she knew how this debate could turn, which it did. She knew that actual talking about specific things that could affect America was going to be talked around. She opened up saying that you're going to hear a lot of lies and you're going to hear a lot of things about immigration. And which is exactly what happened. No matter what the topic was, he tried to bring it back towards immigration. He tried to bring it back towards the border. And I would say that like both of them kind of deflected on answering some of the questions. She did so as well, especially when it came in relation to what she's done as vice president in connection to Joe Biden. And that was actually smart of her to do. Instead of her talking about what she hasn't done over the past 3.5 years with Joe Biden, she went back to what her platform was and what her values were in regards to those platforms. I find it interesting that not only with the moderators or with news media, that a lot of people keep wanting her to address what she did or she didn't do as the vice president, as if she was the president, but they don't go back and address Trump about what he actually did when he was in office. He was the president. They don't call him on the shit that he didn't do. They kept saying he's very strong on the border. He ain't never built that damn wall. What happened with him building the wall? He said the wall we didn't want anyway. A lot of people didn't want anyway. But what happened with the wall? Biden actually started building the wall. A lot of people didn't know that. That was happening probably about 2 years ago. That Biden built more of the wall, and it's supposed to stretch along the Texas border, and I want to say halfway over into Arizona. Which I find it funny to me that they're building a wall when, historically speaking, or at least rumored, that they don't go over the wall. They go under. They go through tunnels that's under the ground. So they build it up. But the travel comes from underneath the ground. That's what... Maybe I watched a little bit too much TV. But I always thought that they went underground to get over here instead of over a damn wall. Okay, but anywho. Maybe that's just part of the stages too. So... She absolutely killed him during this debate. She baited him so hard with simple things, talking about his rallies, talking about the size of them, talking about how people view him with disgust and think he's a disgrace as a person, using the term that he's been fired. You know, that's one of his favorite things, to say he didn't fire somebody. But using the term that America, 81 million people fired Donald Trump, and he just can't grasp onto that reality. A lot of key words that she kept saying was triggers to him. There was something that, when she was talking about Putin would eat him alive, that is a statement that he actually said about her. He actually said that if she was to encounter any of these leaders of the other worlds or whatever, or other countries, that they would eat her alive because she's a woman. He didn't actually say the because she's a woman part, but he actually said that I believe the funds was already allocated for the wall and could not be changed. As far as like the money that Biden used, well, the thing was, when Trump went into office, he said he was going to make Mexico pay for the wall. So there wasn't supposed to be any funds that the U.S. allocated towards their wall at all. But there possibly was a fund allocation. But his Trump's whole time in office, he insisted that Mexico was paying for this wall, and the Mexico government said the hell we are. But I do know that Biden did build more onto the wall. Let me see it. I'm trying to remember when that article came out. I got my computer right in front of me. Let me see. Biden builds wall. For the wall. For the wall explain. Okay, so you were correct. There was an article that came out in October of 2023 that Biden told the reporters that the border wall, there was money that was appropriated for the border wall. He tried to get them to reappropriate it, to redirect that money, and they didn't, and they wouldn't. So in the meantime, there's nothing under the law other than they have to use the money for what it was appropriated for. So he can't stop that. Okay, so you was accurate on that there was actual funds that had been allocated towards the wall. However, like I said, Trump was adamant that Mexico was going to pay for the wall. Maybe he meant in tariffs. I don't know, but yeah. So that was true. That was October 6th, and that was fact checked by factcheck.org. That there was actual funds allocated to the wall. He tried to redirect it. They wouldn't let him do so. So he had to use the money for what had already been allocated for. he asked Congress to reprogram the money, and of course, the Republicans killed it. So I was trying to figure out how much of the wall he built. The money had been appropriated towards the wall in 2019. No, the appropriations law of 2019 is what stated that the money can only be used for what it had been allocated for. So there was an appropriation law that had been passed. It went on to stipulate that the money had to be used to build barriers of certain designs, and those were approved in 2017. So yeah, the rest of the wall that was put up by Biden was in accordance to the appropriation law of 2019, based on Trump's policy from 2017. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so if Biden had not did so, then he would have been violating the impoundment law. And apparently there's supposed to be some big consequence to violate that law. Biden also stated that even though he used the funds for what it was supposed to be allocated for, he still does not believe, make sure I get the quote, he still does not think that a wall is effective. He was asked whether the border wall works, and he simply responded, nope. Which is basically what I'm saying. The wall, they go under that mud. They go underground. They go through tunnels. The people that... Okay, so I did a PNTV the other day that there was no fucking sound, so you didn't get to hear all this. So the difference between the immigration stance that both of these candidates have, Trump is concerned about people who are fleeing the country for whatever reasons, for a better way of life, to get out of certain conditions. Like we had a lot of people who flee from Venezuela because of the civil unrest that was happening in Haiti. There was a lot of people who came from Haiti. Trump is concerned about those people coming into America. Harris is concerned about the drug trafficking, human trafficking, which is different than somebody fleeing their country and coming over. The human trafficking is about individuals kidnapping other individuals and selling them for profit for whatever reason, whether it's for sex, whether it's for, whatever reason. Labor is another reason that people do it. And then she's also concerned with drug trafficking, human trafficking, and other criminalistic activities that are happening. She's more concerned with those type of things coming into the country, and not just focused on the southern border, but coming into the country, period, from any avenue. So that's the major difference on their stances on immigration and the border. He's concerned with just people coming in, people who are fleeing their country for whatever reason, over in comparison to her being concerned with the drugs that are coming in, the weapons that are coming in, the the human trafficking that's happening. That's what she's more concerned with. Which is one of the things that she said that she's always had to deal with when she was Attorney General in California, and like prosecuting individuals for those said crimes. Stopping the trafficking aspect, in my opinion, is something that the government as a whole has never wanted to do, because it's profitable to the United States. So to have a candidate or somebody who's trying to be the leader of the free world want to target that revenue source That's a problem. That's a really big problem. So, yeah, they're definitely behind it. How you doing, Case? Welcome in. And I forgot to say hi to Sin too. Welcome in. So I don't know, like the TV show Snowfall. It's probably one of the one reasons why I end up liking the show so much. It because it not only just showed the life of a drug dealer, a young black man who accidentally ended up in the drug gang because he wasn't really trying to be part of the gang for real. He accidentally ended up taking over a drug. He actually ended up into the drug gang and then becoming like having an empire based on the drug trafficking. But his empire was mainly funded by the government. So they used his what's the way the word I'm trying to say? They kind of used his sources to not only get weapons in and get other type of illegal substances in, move personnel to and from, you know. They did a whole lot of that. And when he tried to separate himself from the government connection, they threatened his life, you know. So that's one of the reasons why I think I kind of like that show, because it actually showed how responsible that our government has been when it came to the drug game. The whole Ronald Reagan era. That's a whole nother video, a whole nother conversation. So, so that's why I think Trump is trying so hard to focus on, or to take people's thought process away from the other illegal activities that are being funded by the government, or that the government has profited off of, and take it towards the individual people, by saying the dumb shit that he says. Baby, when Donald J. Trump stood on that stage and said that people in Springfield was eating cats and dogs, I like to fall out and hit the floor. I'm telling you, I was in the kitchen when that line came on, and I'm thinking that this was an SNL skit that I had just heard. And I walked back into the living room and I saw, no, that really came out of Trump's mouth. But the way he got there is what threw me off. I did not realize that he was talking about Haitian people until the next day. It really threw me off, because she was talking about coming to his rallies and leaving his rallies bored, people leaving his rallies bored from exhaustion. You heard that they was eating geese 30 minutes away from Springfield. I got something on the goose thing, the geese thing. They probably put that in a little bit more perspective as well. So apparently it came from a couple sources. There was a lady who posted something on Facebook that her neighbor told her that their cat had gone missing, and they believe that the immigrants who had moved into the area had took the cat. How it got to eating cats, I think that came on like you ever play that telephone game where one person tells somebody something and it has to get down to the end of the line. By the time it get down to the end of the line, the story has changed. I believe that's what happened with the cat situation, because she was posting about the fact that her neighbor had said that the cat was missing and they believed that an immigrant had took it. Okay. Then there was apparently a phone call made to J.D. Vance's office and said that the immigrants are eating the cats and dogs. And if the immigrants being the Haitian citizens, there was 20,000 citizens, 20,000 immigrants down in Springfield, Ohio, eating the cats and dogs. And this was voicemail left on JD Vance's phone. So JD Vance is one of the people who was responsible for putting it out there to the news media that this is what was going on in Springfield, Ohio. Then there's also reports that there was this Nazi that had actually started the rumor about the eating the cats and dogs. The goose situation got tied up in there because somebody shared a picture of this black man carrying the goose by his neck about 30 minutes outside of Springfield or near the Springfield area. And they associated that black man with being a Haitian. Well, the person who actually took that picture has came out into the news media and said that one, they don't even know if that man is a Haitian. He's the one who took the picture, and he didn't authorize anybody to use that picture. It was just, he was in the park one day, he thought the picture was interesting, and he took the photo. So somebody took the photo from his profile picture and put it out there that the Haitians are stealing these geese and killing and eating up the geese too. Now, I have an Asian friend who I love her sense of humor. She said the first thing that I actually thought too, which is kind of racist in itself. She was like, I'm surprised he wouldn't say it was Asian people that was doing it, because that was like the normal rumor is that the Asian people ate the cats and dogs. So I was just as surprised as she was, and me and her had a good kiki about it. But like I say, once we heard him say that, I laughed as hard as Kamala did. But the truth of the matter that it's not funny at all, because now, so what basically happened, the population of Ohio, of Springfield, Ohio, had approximately about 80,000 citizens, according to the city manager. Over time, the citizenship has dropped down to 60,000, which is affecting their economy. So they invited people to come into that area to help rebuild the community and keep the economy more stable. So the TV show that I had been reviewing, Three of the Birds, I was talking about, that's what London, they had a war, and after the war they invited people from the West Indies, primarily from Jamaica, to come into London and to help stabilize the community. That's basically what Springfield, Ohio did as well, okay? So they invited in approximately 15 to 20,000 Haitians into the area to help stabilize the community. These people that came into the area are legalized. They came in by legal means. They're not illegal aliens or illegal immigrants or whatever term that they want, or undocumented. They have documentation that they are supposed to be in here with the jobs and everything like that. So, but because people are hearing this cat dog situation and are believing it, which is really fucking me up. They're actually believing it. They are now threatening the lives of these Haitian citizens or residents. I think they're the residents at this particular point. They have the green cards, but they're not actually U.S. citizens. They're residents. They are actually threatening the lives of these residents. Since this story has become viral, because of course JD Vance doubled down on it. Trump has doubled down on it. He's now going to different rallies and he's saying it over and over again. And, you know, sometimes when you hear something repeatedly, you start to believe, well, damn, is it really happening? You know, some people do that. The city manager, like I said, has already came out and said there has been no reports that they have that show that some illegal activities have been going on, that animals are being harmed, eaten, taken away, etc. First they said it was stray cats and dogs. Now all of a sudden it's pets. Stray cats and dogs are not pets. These are basically homeless animals. Said it's not even, Kate said there's not even enough housing there for the number of people to live there. They need to get on them Klan folks marching in Columbus in red and black. If anything, they steal a yard chicken or a yard pig. That's what I was thinking too. If anything, they gonna steal a chicken. That's for sure what I was thinking. Ain't shit in Springfield. Used to live there. Where are they gonna stay? In a soybean field. Yeah, that was another thing I heard too, that they didn't have enough housing to for the people, which is one of the main problems as far as resources goes in the Springfield area. So I mean, they do it here in Florida too. Like a lot of the clients that I visit, they in a 2-bedroom and it's 15 motherfuckers living in that same one. They bring in a whole family, or they putting different families together and they all just living in them 1 and 2-bedroom houses. So they do need to build some more infrastructure to accommodate the people that they have brought in. But the whole eating situation is like just really gotten under control. There have been bomb threats to different government organizations. They've had to shut down schools because of these bomb threats. And then people's, like I said, just lives are at stake because the people feel threatened. And it's not so much the citizens in Springfield who are causing all this turmoil, which we normally happens. There's outsiders coming into the community that are causing these problems, as always. But yeah, the stealing chicken thing, I'm telling you, I thought that too. That was my first thing I thought. They'd be stealing chicken if nothing else. Ain't no housing, ain't no jobs, and nothing downtown. Is about 4 stop signs and 2 lights. The job situation, from what their plan was, the jobs were available. The housing is not. Because again, like, they lost over 20,000 citizens, so there was jobs to. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Oh Lord, it had a big message on my screen. It was like, your stream has ended. I've been having a lot of issues with these streams. I don't know what it is. Like, I will post up that I'm finna post a stream up, and YouTube has already restricted my channel before I even said anything. Usually they wait for me to actually have some content and then I have to file a review and then get the stuff restated, whatever. But yeah, I think that by them doing it on 9/11 was intentional, because people were already emotional and in their feelings about it. And they wanted to use that vulnerable time to incite more fear, and it's working. It's working. So you moved because there wasn't no jobs, especially for black folks. Let me see what they're saying. Haitians are why in Springfield. Okay. All right, let's see. This is an article in the New York Times. Okay, so it says that, yeah, businesses needed workers. That's what I thought. I didn't think that the employment was the issue. Businesses needed workers, and Haitians, because they were already authorized to work. A lot of the Haitians that came to this area were already in the United States and came from other cities and came to Springfield for the work. They heard that the cost of living was low, but like you said, there isn't any housing. And then for people like yourself who had already lived there, now they're in competition for the jobs that do remain, which makes it a strain on resources in the area. But they essentially, the program started because they were trying to put workers into these jobs. 45 minutes to an hour. What businesses are in Springfield? Let's see. What's behind the rise of Haitians in Springfield? It says, let me get the date of this article too. This article was written. What's the date of this article? Oh, this article was written today. Okay, September 14th. It says that what's behind the rise of Haitians in Springfield? Thousands of new jobs have been created there thanks to a successful effort by the city leadership and the Chamber of Commerce to attract new businesses to Springfield, which sits between Columbus and Dayton. Once a manufacturing hub, Springfield saw its economy shrink, and factories closed, and jobs migrated overseas. By about 2015, the population dwindled down to under 60,000 from 80,000. Companies that set up shop, however, confronted a dire labor shortage. Haitian Floridians, people from Haiti, South America, heard friends and family about the Springfield needed workers for these new jobs that had been created. The new jobs were in the warehousing industry, manufacturing industry, the service sector, and the employers urged new workers to encourage other Haitian family members to join them. What started as a trickle swell became a surge after the COVID-19 pandemic. So coinciding with the deepening political and economic instability in Haiti, which was going on in 2021, they found a home in Ohio. So it says, and their numbers are a little bit different than mine. I thought it was $15,000 to $20,000 of people, of 15 to 20,000 people. They got approximately 12 to 20,000 people that have moved into the area. The Ohio Bureau of Motor Vehicles, public schools, healthcare providers in the area, and social service areas and social service agencies are the ones who are being mostly strained for resources, trying to make sure that people, I guess, have vehicles or transportation to get around. The public school system is starting to be overcrowded now. Like I said, some of these people are coming from actual Haiti and not just Florida. So the healthcare is now being flooded, and social services like getting food stamps, being put on Medicaid, things like that. Those are resources that are being tapped out because of the flux of people that have came in. So like the way that it's sounding, if I go back to that, it started off like real small, the growth, and then it hit a spurt in 2021 when Haiti became under the civil unrest. And so once they had started allowing people to move about the countries after the pandemic or during the height of the pandemic, once they started letting people move around again, it like skyrocketed in that area. So according to this article, there was thousands of jobs that were created. I'm not sure when you actually left the area. Say, I'm telling you, ain't nothing for real, ain't no business. Somebody lying. Lee's Fried Chicken might be hiring. Lee's Fried Chicken is still a job. I mean, during the pandemic, fast food places were one of the only places that was still open. They needed people. It's still a job. So I don't care if it's fast food or if it's in the corporate industry. It's still a job. And then a lot of times, people like us who have been in this country for a long time, we will like look at, I ain't gonna work for no fucking fast food. I ain't gonna work for Lee's Chicken. You know what I'm saying? Lee's Chicken was fire, by the way. I used to love it. That was what Lee's Chicken was actually my first paid job. I worked there for 2.5 years, but because I worked there for so fucking long, I wouldn't eat chicken for a long fucking time. When did you leave the Springfield area, Case? I mean, when did you leave Springfield area? And how do you know so much about what's going on if you're no longer there? If nothing is there, what are you going back to Springfield for to see that the economy hasn't changed? That's what some clarity on what you're saying. Because a lot of people got a lot of opinions about stuff that they don't no longer attach to. If we're saying that, if they're saying that there's a lot of jobs that have been created and you don't even live there no more, and you saying nothing there, what people going there for, how would you know what's going on if you don't go back there no more? So that's, I just want some clarity. And like, when did you leave there? And like, how often do you go back to Springfield to dispute what they're saying? The warehouses in West Jeffries might be hiring heavy. It's about 30 minutes out. Well, they did say warehousing was one of the things that they were creating new jobs for: manufacturing, warehousing, in the service industry. And speaking of Lee's Chicken, fast food is part of the service industry. So you have to go through there to get your son. Okay. How does going through there help you identify that there hasn't been new jobs created? Are you still seeing like dilapidated buildings, or what exactly are you seeing when you drive through that can validate that there ain't been new jobs created? And like from the time span that they're looking at from 2019, so over the last 5 years. They didn't say millions of jobs, they just said thousands of jobs have been created. And just in the past 3 years, that's when the boom really started happening because of the unrest in Haiti. So, like, and yeah, still, when did you actually leave Springfield? Because of the job situation. Okay, so back to the debate itself. So I knew that like once she mentioned the rally size and invited people to come out to his rallies, and you'll see that they have been, people been walking out, which there's been like countless videos all over the internet just showing people this is like leaving his rally in droves. And it don't be the end of the rally. It be like sometime in the middle. I don't know if it's too hot, whatever it is, or why the people are leaving. I've seen a few people like question them, like, why y'all leaving? What's going on? And nobody responds. So we don't know the exact reason why people are leaving. Maybe they thought it was over. You know how like, if you're at a concert or a show and you know this is going to be the last song, people want to get up there out of there early so they can get out the parking lot. It could be some situation like that. But just the fact that she made that statement that people are leaving, it's basically tuning him out and turning him off. That moment was like the defining moment in the debate that got under his skin, and he totally went off the rails, because that's when he brought up the immigration and the cats and the dogs eating situation, and we gonna end up like Venezuela. That's what I thought he was talking about, Venezuela, because he kept talking about how the Venezuelan government had a whole flux of immigrants coming in, which I ain't never heard that shit before. People been trying to flee Venezuela forever. But he said that they had a whole lot of immigrants coming in, and the Venezuelan government said they was going to execute them if they ever come back. And since he said that, then that's why Venezuela is so much better now, because the immigrants ain't come back in. People have been fleeing Venezuela for years. Like a lot of times when you have the boats coming over from over into the coastline down here in Florida, a lot of people just automatically assume that all the people are coming from Cuba. Majority of them people, they coming from Venezuela. They coming across that doggone the strait too that connects South America and North America. Them people been fleeing Venezuela forever. So I haven't seen stories or tales or news reports or whatever about Venezuela having an immigration problem in the equivalent to what Trump was talking about. But like when he was going through that speech, he was saying that that he was mixing all the conversation in. He started with the rally, started talking about Venezuela government, and then talking about they're up in Springfield eating the cats and dogs, and then he went back to Venezuela, and I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? So it was like the next morning that I realized that he was speaking about the Haitian citizens in Springfield. But you left Springfield altogether in 2021, but the area is so close I can go there for donuts and a piece of fried fish from Lee's Chicken in Springfield selling fish. They was selling fish when I was working there. They used to have to go across the street to churches. They have a donut shop called Schuler's that you frequent often there. So you left right when the boom or the surge started, when the jobs creation had really begun in the height of the pandemic. So when you was looking for work, you came back here from Texas last year, you looked there too. Are you in one of those industries, the warehouse and the marketing or service industry? Because if you came back last year, then in a way that would make sense to what, if you came back last year, you came back at the point in time where resources were already being strained, is what I'm trying to say. They claim that the boom started in 2021. That's when you left. And at this particular time, they now have so many immigrants in the area that resources are being strained. So if you just came back last year, you came back at the time that the resources are being strained. So it's not that there wasn't any jobs for them to gain during the time 2021 to 2023, whenever you came back. It wasn't that there was no job creation for these people to go into. You were gone during that time. And when you came back once the surge hit, if you understand what I'm saying. So I understand. Something I'm missing. Something pop up on here, but didn't pop up on here. So I can understand what you're saying when there's no jobs at this particular stage, because that's part of what the problem that they're having in the area. Now they have so many immigrants in the area, they're not able to keep up. Hey, Daisy J, what's going on? We just right now we're just talking about the immigration situation, and we got Case here, who's one of the people who has lived in Springfield and was dealing with the job flow situation there, and trying to figure out. We was trying to figure out why there was so many Haitians in the Springfield area, and they're saying that there was a lot of jobs that had been created since the pandemic, and we just trying to correlate their point of view as there not being any jobs. There's nothing to do in Springfield. They don't understand why people are there. There's no housing. This and the third, and how that is not really lining up with what the news is saying. And basically, what I have gathered just from what I knew already, and then this one article that I just read, that at the time that Case left Springfield is when the basically the job creation was really beginning. And at the time that they came back to that area, when they were looking for work, there was no work to be found, which is basically part of the problem in the area now. I'm just curious where those folks live. It's super small there. It's probably like I was saying, Case, just like here in Florida. You probably got a 1-bedroom house with about 15 people living in it. That's very possible. And then they have a center that was put there to try to help the immigrants with different resources. So, and it may be possible that they're placing these people out where you live too, out in Dayton or the 30 minutes away, all the different places. It's very possible that they are relocating these people, and they actually aren't in Springfield as far as living, which makes the lie even bigger. We still talking about the debate. The only thing I really got to so far is I think he got a crush on her, which is one reason why he wouldn't look at her doing the opening of doing the whole debate, because he don't know how to control his fucking loins. And he figured, and I think his people told him that if he don't focus on her, don't look at her, then maybe he could stay focused on topic. We talked about the different policies that they laid out. You say you in Illinois and they out here too? Yeah, because like I said, I know what that civil unrest they had in Haiti. There was a lot of people that actually came here technically as a refugee, and they have now are considered residents of the United States. Florida already had a big Haitian population before that all started. But yeah, they spreading them all out. And so we talked about the different policies that she was able to get on her platform, not necessarily her policy, but her platforms that she was able to speak on within the first 8 minutes or first 3 minutes. And the reason why I thought that she got those out in the first 3 minutes, because she knew that this debate was going to go off the rail, and it was going to be kind of hard to keep him focused and stayed on topic, because he kept bringing stuff back to immigrants, and you saw the cat dog situation going on. That's the last thing that we talked about so far. Is there anything specific? I missed somebody. Somebody else just came in the room that I missed. Alyssa, hey, how you doing? It's a poetic justice perfected. That's all we got to so far. I've been running my mouth for a whole hour and 15 minutes. That's all we got to. But and we talked about the how both people kind of deflected from certain questions. Trump, in my opinion, because he just didn't know what the fuck to say, and Kamala, in my opinion, was because she's trying to separate herself from the whole Biden link, because people still have a negative view about Biden about certain things, and they are like questioning her about what she did in the past 3.5 years as a vice president, but in contradiction, they not questioning Trump ass about what he did in the 4 years he was in office, with the exception of the healthcare thing. Say, I like the eating cat and dog song. Baby, that cat and dog song took me out. If y'all have not seen it, it's on the community board. The remix guy, he always take a lot of different stuff and create videos for him. I know it's more than one, but the one that the remix guy did was my favorite. I shared it on the community board. He actually did the JD Vance Never Trump Guy song too. I'll be playing that like it's part of my regular playlist. I'm a Never Trump guy. I'm a Never Trump guy. I love it. I don't think I shared that video though. But oh yeah, that song. Then I shared a video today. People are showing their pets and they watching the debate, and this one with this cat sitting there watching this debate. As soon as Trump started talking about cats and dogs, the cat started hissing. And then all of a sudden it lunged at the doggone TV screen on his face. I don't know if that was edited or not, but the shit was funny. And I know they was like, I hope that cat is alright. They said the cat is unharmed. But there was like some other people, they putting out videos. It's been all over TikTok. You see the cats and the dogs, they sitting there like scared. You know how when cats and dogs get in trouble, the look that they give on their face when they know they're in trouble, that's the look that they've been having, hiding behind couches, hiding in broom closets. It's been, like I said, it's been funny. But it hasn't, because of all the threats that the Haitian people are now receiving in that area. Like I said, the government has been shut down. A lot of government buildings have been shut down because of these threats. Schools are being closed because of bomb threats in regards to the Haitians eating cats and dogs. So it's even though it's something that we able to laugh at, there are some serious consequences that are happening from JD Vance and Trump continuously spreading this unfounded lie about people eating cats and dogs. And even, like I said, I think Case brought in about the goose situation. The man, the picture that was going around with this man holding this goose running through the park, the man who actually took that photo said that it wasn't even in Springfield when he took that picture. He ain't even sure if that man is a Haitian or not. All he saw was a man carrying the goose by the neck. He thought it was a funny picture, and he snapped the picture, and then somebody stole it off of his profile and reshared it and said these was Haitians stealing geese. Yeah, they've already came out. The lady who started the cats being stolen rumor, she said that her neighbor, she had talked to her neighbor, and if I'm not mistaken, she talked to her neighbor. Her neighbor told her that her sister's cousin, uncle, had a friend whose cat was stolen, and they believed it was by a Haitian or by an immigrant. They didn't specifically say Haitian. They said it was by an immigrant, and it was in the Springfield area. That's how that started. So she has now came out and said that she didn't know none of that was true. She's found out that that was a lie, and she's sorry for sharing the lie. That's what that lady has said. Then there also was phone calls made to JD Vance. Somebody left a voicemail on JD Vance's phone that said that people, Haiti immigrants, was eating cats and dogs. And I think it was shared on Reddit as well. But this got to JD Vance, and then JD Vance put it out in the news, and he continuously doubled down on it. Thirdly, there was supposed to be some Nazi person I'm not even sure if he was from the Springfield area. Let me look it up. But some Nazi person who was supposed to have been the one who started the rumor about the eating the cats and dogs, which eventually got to the person who made the phone call, who called JD Vance. But I did read somewhere, I just can't remember where I saw it, that the person who made the phone call to JD Vance intentionally left that voice message because he knew he was going to take that information and run with it, and he did so with the intent of making JD Vance look stupid. I haven't been able to find the article again, but let me get the Nazi one. Nazi cats dog. Oh God, that's the news. I need news. Okay, so apparently a German foreign minister, he was as confused as I was, because when I told you, when I was watching it, I didn't know that they was talking about Haitians at first. It went to the next morning that I realized they was talking about Haitians. So the German foreign minister said to Trump as well, we don't eat cats and dogs, because the way he made that statement, it was just like blanketed that immigrants were doing it. And so it says Germany's foreign minister mocked the U.S. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump on false assertions about immigrants eating cats and dogs. I need to go to Google because I can't stand Bing. Google.com. A Nazi started rumor. Cats and dogs being eaten. See if I can find it. Okay, so far-right origins of false pet eating claims. So this is the NBC News, The Guardian, NPR Radio, or NPR, the Washington Post. These are different sources that this is coming from. So it's not just one source. Newsweek. Okay, so how they blocked me. Hold on. They said no, you can't read this article. Let me go back. I have a Washington Post account. Son of a bitches. Let's see. Okay, this is about the lady. An American right-wing politician and media figure. The pet eating claims spread amidst racial tensions in Springfield, where Haitian immigrants greatly expanded the city's population. Prior to receiving national attention, there was already hostility in the Haitian community against the neo-Nazis. So they already had tension in the community. After the claims received heightened attention, there was race-based attacks on the Haitian residents, and an anti-Haitian message accompanied bomb threats that forced Springfield officials to close public buildings, including City Hall and a few elementary schools. The Facebook post spoke about her. Oh, the daughter, the person who, the Facebook post, they claimed that the cat was hung and skinned, hanging from a branch like a deer. And they was carving it up, about to eat it. It's now been debunked. The person who posted it said they were lying. Ducks and geese came from the picture of the guy. The lady also admitted she didn't even know the person who lost the cat. She heard it from a friend, who heard it from another friend, who heard it from an acquaintance, who heard it from their uncle. Okay, so I was close on that too. Person said who posted it said that they had no intention of spreading the ugly rumor. Okay. In August, a U.S. born woman was arrested in Canton, Ohio, on charge that she had killed and ate a cat, but it was not a Haitian. Police body camera footage showed the arrest of the Canton woman, and it is posted to social media labeled as an arrest in Springfield. Neither the Columbus man nor the Canton woman had any connection to Haiti or to Springfield. So there was some random ass woman in Canton, Ohio, who had been eating a cat, got arrested, and they said that was Haitians, but they said this person had no connection to Springfield nor to Haiti. I'm still looking for the part. This is a very long article. I'm trying to jump to the part where they said the neo-Nazi person. Subsequent threats. City Hall was threatened. Clark County buildings were threatened. Local elementary schools were threatened. More bomb threats happened on September 13th in several schools and municipal buildings. September 14th, which is today, more bomb threats happened, led to temporary lockdowns for other sites, schools, hospital, and the medical centers. Haitian Americans and the immigrants have faced race-baited attacks due to these claims. Their cars are being broken into, their homes are being broken into, acid being thrown on their cars as a result of the hoax. The claims have already been debunked. A Columbus photographer is the one who posted the man carrying the dead goose and told the Columbus Dispatch that he regretted even taking the picture. He never knew that people were going to take it out of context and start saying that Haitians were the ones who were responsible for the dead goose. He is quoted by saying he hates that picture. He hates that he took it and it's being weaponized against immigrants or anyone from any group. They always have to have somebody used as a weapon. Somebody has to be the bad guy. Okay. I still ain't found it. It's a long fucking article. If I find it, I'm going to post it on the community board. I missed a couple comments. Let me go back for a second. Case is talking about different issues they went through. Desi say people are messy and weird. Yep, for sure. Okay, let's try to get back on track with the debates. Anybody got anything specific that they want me to speak towards as far as the debate goes? She got a little more detailed when it came to race as well, and they addressed Trump saying that she had turned black. She just didn't give like the standard, same old policies, move on, next question. She started off, same old, and then start talking about the different things that Trump has done as far as like refusing to rent to black people, taking out the New York Times ad to try to get the Central Park 5 executed, questioning Barack Obama's birth. She brought those things up in connection to race, and she really just kind of like said, look, America's tired of the shit. We pretty much sick and tired of listening to all the division and the divisiveness that's going on. I think that's the same thing, but the division that's going on in America. We need some joy. We need some happiness. That's pretty much what she said. I'm summarizing what she said. And Trump really couldn't debunk any of those things, but I think because he couldn't say anything against what she said, he couldn't say that wasn't true because everything that she said was true. That's when he went on the attack again about, I think he's brought up Viktor Orban, which is pretty much just kind of proving her point. How he praises, dictators, and he talk about how much he was a good strong man and people respect him, and they would, you know, run her to the ground and, you know, all that shit. Her faces, whenever she wasn't speaking, her faces were saying it all. And I think a lot of it was very intentional. She over dramatized a lot of what she was saying in her face. I think that was very intentional because they knew that they were going to have this split screen situation going on and the mics wouldn't be hot. So Harris wanted to have hot mics so that way when the other person was speaking, you could still hear what the other person said. And in some instances, you still could. Some instances, they forgot to turn their mics off while the other person was speaking, so you could hear it a few times. So she kind of like talked with her face. She expressed a lot of what she was thinking with her face. There was one point that I thought she was finna call him a motherfucker. Because it's a little clip going around that about Kamala saying that the word motherfucker was her favorite curse word to say. And there was one point when she was talking about how much of a disgrace he was and how the other world leaders view him. And she said, and this person next to me, when she said that, I said she wanted to say motherfucker so bad right there. And I would have fell out if she did. And now she's trying to be presidential. But I don't know, a little Freudian slip every once in a while is good. Tim Waltz would have called him a motherfucker. I think he would have called him a motherfucker. That part, I mean, I don't think I've laughed so much during a damn debate. Oh my goodness. And it's supposed to be serious. And okay, so that part right there, when she talked about race, I thought the way that she addressed that and just tying him into a lot of the racial things that he's done. I thought that she really hit him hard when she started tying in. Well, I thought she could have hit him harder when he started talking about all the crime that the immigrants are doing, this, that, and the third, and how we really need to, like, I think he said again that we want to execute these people and we're gonna mass deport people, and she said, oh, that's rich, you know, coming from you with all your 34 convictions. I wish you would have really dug into that more. I wish you would have really dug into his fraud. I wish you had really dug into what his adjudicated rape conviction was about. It's so much that he's done criminally that I thought that she should have really hit harder on, which is probably why she's asking to do a second debate and to really break down those convictions. She kind of just like glossed over them and moved on to another subject. Then, like I say, after the whole his people leaving his rally thing, he was rattled from that point on. He started to really get onto Joe Biden and what Joe Biden did, Joe Biden that, Joe Biden this, and she had to remind him, I'm not Joe Biden. She tried to get him to look at her. He wouldn't look at her. But she was like, it's quite clear by looking at me, I'm not Joe Biden. So yeah, I think that's I had so much to say the other day in the video that now like I done got off track. Anybody else got from the doggone debate that we're gonna address? It's something. Case is still talking about Springfield being racist as hell. Still sundown towns there. There's a lot of sundown towns all over the coast, East Coast, and she served emojis. Alyssa say she served emojis, and I think there was like one point, like once he went off the rails, she was looking at him like this, and her face just said, "Got him." The look on her face was like, "Yeah, you done fucked up now, right? You know you done fucked up." That's the look that was on her face. And immediately after, they both had rallies of their own, and she just made fun of him during her whole rally. She came out laughing. She couldn't stop laughing. And he went on to his rally, and I know a lot of the news media was saying he was failing to pack a little small venue. I didn't see that. It looked like people was there to me, and they didn't show people getting up walking out. But it was definitely not an arena size space or place. Do you think the end result will be based on what's best for the country or gender and race? What do you mean by end result? The vote? Or who's going to actually win? Is that what you're speaking to? Or are you thinking about, or are you saying about the debate itself, the end result of the debate? Was that based on what's best for the country or gender or race? In the as far as the election is concerned, I think people are going to vote based on what's best for the country. The election. So I think that people are going to vote based on what's best for the country. However, I do believe that there is going to be great resistance to that result. I believe that she's going to win. I know they keep talking about how close the race is, but again, these are just polls, and these polls are from the people who actually answer them and respond. I get text messages and phone calls all day long. I used to be like, this about a week or two ago, I was like, who the hell are these people that's doing these polls? They have called me so many fucking times and texted me so many fucking times for these polls, and I have yet to answer any one of them. Any one of them. But I don't think the polls are accurately reflecting what is going to happen when we get to the actual election. But I predicted, I had a dream one day, and this is where this number comes from. Because it was not too long. Hey, Justin. It was not too long after one of the videos that I did, and I went to sleep. I think it was the video that I was like mad about them ousting Biden. And I went to sleep, and the next morning when I woke up, the very first thought on my mind, she's going to win. That was the very first thought. I didn't think about my bad breath. I didn't think about the fact that I had to go pee. When I woke up, my first thought was she's going to win. And I told you I have dreams a lot. And a lot of times my dreams do manifest. They may not manifest in the way that the dream played out, but I didn't even have a dream this time. That was just like the first automatic thought. And I said that she was going to win by more than 15 points. So we'll see if that happened or it don't. But I do not believe that this is going to be a close race at all. However, I do understand the need to keep spinning that the fact that this is going to be a close race, because I'm going to say we as Democrats, I'm including people who vote more liberal, more progressive as well. We have a tendency to become complacent. When we think things are going in our favor, we have a tendency to become complacent, which is one of the reasons why the Democratic Party was also always on the defense, because we allowed shit to happen. We wait to see what things are going to happen. So I think that by them continuously pushing that this is a close race, and that we are the underdogs, is to light a fire under people's asses. Because like I said, we have a tendency to sit back and be complacent and to see what's going to happen. There's I don't think I've ever told y'all before. When Biden ran and won, I didn't vote. I didn't vote because I didn't want to. My job violates our voting rights often. I work for a government agency, and we are supposed to have 4 hours to go vote. They allow us 2 hours before we get to work, or 2 hours after, but we're supposed to have 4 hours time in which we can go vote. That's supposed to be not, we ain't got to use our vacation time for it. We don't get counted as being late to come to work for it. But my office they tend to not allow people to do that. So when Biden got elected, I didn't go vote because of the stuff that I was dealing with at work in regards to us being allowed to go vote. And then I was like, at one point I just said, fuck it. He gonna win anyway. So it don't even matter if I show up. That was my actual thought process. And there are a lot of people who think like that. Which is weird for me considering how active I am in the midterms and the primaries and local elections. I'm like really fucking out there. That was the first time since I've been able to vote that I actually did not vote for the president. How's everybody's day been going? We've been going good, Justin. How your day been going? But so yeah, I think that's why they are really pressing that we need to get out and vote, that we're underdogs. It's going to be such a close race because they want to make sure that people show the fuck up to the polls and actually vote. We already know there's a lot of voter intimidation going on. We had the situation down in Texas where the police and local authorities busted in on, are they considered poll workers? The LIAUA is the Latino organization who gets people registered to vote. They raided their houses and everything, confiscate their cell phones and confiscate their computers, looking for evidence to show that they are registering people illegally. They found none. As far as I know, they haven't returned anybody's. You gotta go. Thank you for coming in. You stay blessed as well. Hope things work out for you out there in Dayton. They raided those people's houses, you know, trying to, a lot of them are senior or elder people, trying to intimidate them to prevent people from registering to vote. In Arizona, they tried to pass, or they did pass something that says that you now have to have your birth certificate or passport in order to register to vote. But the way that they are spinning it in the news, that you have to have your passport or your birth certificate to actually vote. That's not what the law says. The law says you have to provide those things in order to register to vote, which is still, you know, part of voter suppression. But the way that they are spreading the news in that area is that you need to do it to actually vote, which is going to deter a lot of people. How many people know where their damn birth certificate is right now? How many people know their passport? Half people don't even got passports. But I couldn't tell you what my birth certificate is right now. You know, so if people thinking that I need my birth certificate to go vote, they 9 times out of 10 not going to show up. Here in Florida, people are being purged from the voting records. One of my coworkers is like, she's so frustrated. She has registered at least 3 times, and they keep telling her that she doesn't have a registration. And she's at the point now, she's like, fuck it, I'm not going to even vote. And I'm like, nah, girl, we're going to get this figured out. That's how I'm feeling right now. Florida is weird. Like, y'all governor of Florida, I feel like he had something to do with y'all not being able to vote for Biden. I'm just saying. No, DeSantis, he had nothing to do with my office not being able to vote. I work for the federal government. I don't work for the state government. The head honcho in our office. I try not to say his job title so y'all won't know where I work. The head honcho in our office. It was his personal decision to try to keep people from actually going to vote, telling us that law or that regulation that we have didn't apply to us. It was a lot of shit. He's no longer there. The head honcho's gone. But it was a lot of things that he was doing personally to prevent people who actually work there from voting. But I told you we got like 29 employees in our back office. It's only 5 of us that actually vote. The other 24, they do a lot of yapping, a lot of talking. They spread a lot of misinformation, but they don't actually take their ass to the polls at all. They don't vote at all. So no, it wasn't DeSantis. DeSantis is a whole nother breed of person though. And I said this before, if it wasn't for my criminal record, and if it wasn't for the fact that I want to leave Florida within the next 3 years, I would run against DeSantis in 2026. That's the next time he's up for re-election. I would run against his ass. Because But I think that, you know what? Now I'm saying this out loud. My criminal activity would not be a hindrance for me in Florida. Which is why Donald Trump was able to still vote. The way that Florida, each state has their own different laws. But the way that Florida, they, you can't vote as a convicted felon if the crime was committed in Florida. So since Trump's crime that he was convicted for being a felon was in the state of New York, that's why he's allowed to vote in Florida. All of the criminal activity that I had happened in the state of Missouri. So it would not disqualify me from running for office here in Florida. I'm gonna think about that shit. I'm really serious about that shit. I think I could beat his ass. I really think I can. Or I could help the person who's gonna run next beat his ass. One of the two. Even though I plan on still leaving Florida. Anywho, but yeah, so in Florida they are like purging people from the records. So that's what we try to tell people to check your registration often. A lot of citizens claim they are being threatened because of who they're voting for. So they don't want to vote because, you know, they don't want to be threatened. They don't want their husbands to find out. They don't want their family members to find out. And then you hear in the news, people talk about, no, once you go in the poll, in the booth, your vote is your vote. That's your own privacy. Nobody knows what you're voting for. That's not true. Remember when the guy did the, you can see me as vice president. No. Hey, R. Harris, how you doing? So, what, you made me forget what I was going to say, Justin. That was funny. What was I saying? Yeah. Damn, what was I talking about? Justin made me lose my train of thought so he can see me as vice president. Damn, what was I talking about? I don't know. I can't remember what I was talking about. If y'all remember, put it in the comment section for me. What the hell I was just talking about? It was something really, I was really getting into something. I can't remember what the fuck I was talking about. I know we was talking about the voter suppressions. Florida voting. Checking your register. Oh, now I know what I'm talking about. I was talking about people being afraid that other people find out what they voted. And how they were saying that a lot of women were saying that they didn't want to vote because they don't want their husbands to know that they're voting. It's ways to find out. It's not as private as they trying to make it seem. And I'm not trying to incite fear or scare anybody, but it's just the truth. When that one guy came out on the whole little story on CNN where that guy was saying that he was undecided, and then come to find out that his whole social media profile has been flooded with Trump stuff, right? And I told you I went to go search him, went to go find him. It's ways to find out what somebody voted. I was able to plug in his information and find out that motherfucker's not even a registered voter. So him saying that he supports Trump, like I said, he like the people in my office. He just popping off at the fucking mouth, spreading misinformation. But he's not even a registered voter. I found that shit out. It's easy for you to do. If you know somebody's date of birth, you know what zip code they live in, boom, you can find out the information. I told you when I moved into this neighborhood, I was able to pull up the area map, and it shows the number of people in the neighborhood that's registered to vote. That's all you gotta do is click on the fucking address. It gave you the name of everybody in the damn house, and it tell you what they voted for. Whether they voted Democrat, or whether they voted Republican, or whether they voted Independent. And if they voted in the last election, it says that too. Just think about the shooter, the one that nicked Trump's ear. They were able to find out that last time he voted as a Republican. That information is public information. So all you gotta have is some, depending on what state you live in, there's certain different criteria to plug it in, but certain things are easy to find. Like I found the the CNN dude, I found out his date of birth because I went to his Instagram page and saw and typed in the hashtag happy birthday, and it popped up the day that he was giving himself a shout out for his birthday. That's how I found out what his birthday was. He's like, oh, today my 34th birthday. I subtracted 34 from the year 2004 and got his year of birth. And for the state of Pennsylvania, you needed their date of birth, that's including the year, where they live at. He was on the news for whatever area, I forgot what town it was. I looked up the town, found out that he was a realtor in this particular area, looked at his LinkedIn page and got all the places he's ever worked, and it showed all the places he ever lived. I plugged in every last one of them zip codes in that whole fucking area, and I was able to find out information on him. It's not hard. It's tedious if you got the time, but find out what somebody voted for. If you know little bits of information about them, it's not hard to do. So the people who have that fear, that especially the women who don't want to vote or don't want to say who they support because they don't want their husband to find out, their husband can easily find out. It's like go to the damn property tax thing and find out who lived there, and then you click to see. Like I said, I knew what this neighborhood was. I know my neighbor to the right is a Republican. I know my neighbor to the left is a Democrat. His wife is an independent. I know the people across the street, it's a split household. You got 2 Republicans in that household and 3 Democrats in the household. The people to the next to them, they Republicans. The people to the right of them, they both Democrats. The people to the right of them, I can tell you everybody in this fucking neighborhood what they vote as. And if they voted in the last election, because it shows it on the form or the site that I was on. It shows you what was the last election that you voted in, which is what made me realize, or made me remember, I didn't vote in the presidential election last time. I got a phone call, a text message that said, we show you didn't vote. And I was like, I did fucking vote. I was like, I know I voted. And I went on there and I plugged it in. They was like, no, girl, you did not vote. You voted in the primaries. You voted in the local elections. You voted in the midterms and all that stuff. You did not vote for president last time. And I was like, damn. Oh, damn. And then I had to think back what happened. You're right. I didn't vote. But yeah, all that shit is easily accessible to people. If they want to look for it, if they want to find it. So, but you got like situations like that going all around. That's the new laws. You know, the last election they had laws in. How did you find that out? As far as Florida is concerned, Florida has like I typed in the address for the house that I was trying to buy, and I typed in voter registration, and then it pops up the whole neighborhood, and then you can click on each address and it shows the name of the people and what they voted for and the last time they voted in Florida. In Philadelphia, when you go to Philadelphia's website, you had to have the correct spelling of their name, their date of birth, and the last zip code that they would have voted in, and it pops up their voter registration and their voter registration history. In the state of Missouri, it's all you need is basically their name and their address. Plug it in, it pops it up. So it depends on what state you live in. And it's a simple Google search. It's public information. But yeah, in Florida, I did it based off of me trying to buy a house. So every house that I've ever looked at, I plug in the address and I search voter registrations, and it pop up the entire neighborhood. And it shows me who my neighbors are and what they voted. And like I said, this neighborhood was pretty mixed, and I was comfortable with that. Like I said, so we only had 172 residents, 172 homes in this neighborhood. I was comfortable with the mix. I don't necessarily have to be around everybody who think exactly like me, because I like to engage in conversation. I like to discuss different, and that's one thing I like about this neighborhood. Is that even though we got like difference in political stands, people here can still have conversations and talk things out. I haven't seen any tension. Like I said, although I am the only person in the neighborhood that has a political sign in the yard, nobody has said anything negative to me about it. I have been, though, every freaking day walking outside like, is my sign gonna be gone? And it ain't gone. I have a question. Does that apply to celebrities like Kevin Hart? Can I look him up? If you know what depending on if you know where Kevin Hart lives, then you have to look up the state. Yeah, it's easy to find. Hell, I found this was such fucking random shit. But Nicki Minaj's house in California, I was able to find that real easy. I don't remember what the hell. Oh, because her husband is as a sex offender. So he has to register. So I was able to look up where he is registered at in California. And with sex offenders, they have to give the address where they live. And so I found Nicki Minaj's house. And I put the address in. I just want to see her house. If people was talking about her house, I was being nosy. And I figured how I was going to see her house. And I didn't know where she lived. And I plugged it in. That motherfucking house is off the fucking chain. The one she got out in California. It's off the fucking chain. But yeah, there's different ways to do. Depends on what state they live in and what information they're asking about. Let me see. I don't know what state Kevin Hart live in. Let's see. So like, let's say for example, this is my laptop, right? Y'all see that? So I just typed in Illinois. I know you live in Illinois. So I can go right here to registration lookup. And let's see what they got. Registration lookup. So for the state of Illinois, you need the person's first name, last name, date of birth, and 5-digit zip code that they last voted in. And that's it. This is Illinois online voter application. That's all you need to look up somebody's registration in Illinois. So if I had that information, I could plug it in. They do go through it. Like I know Pennsylvania, when I did that one, the next page was asking me, was this information for myself or for another person? I clicked this for another person. Then they had me click a little checkbox to say I wasn't a robot and that I wasn't going to use this information to harass, commit a crime against. It gave me some other little statement like that. But it looks like on this Illinois site, once you click it in and submit it, it just gives you the information. So yeah, depends. So anything else about the debate that y'all wanted to bring up specifically? Other than we know that immediately after the debate, Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris. With her, they say that celebrities' endorsements don't matter. I told y'all before, it doesn't. It matters in the sense that it could draw in other support. So once she made that announcement, close to 400,000 people registered to vote through the link that she provided. So just in that sense alone, it has her endorsement has sparked some energy. It doesn't necessarily mean that all 400,000 of those people registered to vote for Kamala Harris. I was on somebody's page, Megyn Kelly. I'll tell you how I got there in a minute. But I was on Megyn Kelly's page. And a lot of the people that was on that page hate Taylor Swift. So they were saying they went through her link to make sure they registered to vote so that Kamala Harris couldn't win. So we had 400,000 people registered. Doesn't necessarily mean they registered Democrat. They could have registered independent. Depending on what state you're in, you don't even have to, some states though, you don't even have to identify what party. Because when I was living in Missouri, I wasn't affiliated with a party at all. It wasn't until Bernie Sanders decided to run that I made a designation, because I was going through the delegates. I was working with the delegates to try to get him into office. So then when he went onto the Democratic Party, I had to switch to Democrat in order to vote for Bernie Sanders. When I moved to Florida, when we registered to vote here, we did it when we got our driver's license, and we had to designate what we were voting as when we registered. When we registered here in Florida. So I selected independent. They do not let you do non-committed. You have to select whether you was Republican, whether you was independent, whether you were Green Party. You have to make a selection here in Florida. You can't do undecided, or you can't put uncommitted. So like I said, depending on what state you're in. But her endorsement garnered 400,000 registered voters to come out. 9 times out of 10, most of those probably went to Democrat. I love the way that she did it. She not only spoke to the reason why she was gonna support Harrison Walt's ticket, she also spoke towards the threat of AI. And I told y'all before that right before Trump left office, he signed in an executive order that AI can take over the presidency in the event that the president is incapacitated. I do not believe that Biden has reversed that or has been able to, but I showed y'all that back then. And I said at that particular time that he was already setting the stage for a coup to happen. I was finna say something else about, so at one of Trump's rallies, okay, like y'all know he's still spitting about the cats and dogs, eating cats and dogs and shit like that. So there's an entertainer, a Latin singer named Nicky Jams, who is backing Trump, right? So Trump was making the crowd aware that Nicky Jams was one of his supporters or was endorsing him. And I don't know, I guess this was to try to, be in comparison to Taylor Swift, although Nicky Jams is not nowhere near as big as Taylor Swift. It'd have been more, he had to bring in Shakira as a Latin artist for them to be in comparison to Taylor Swift. But anyway, he was saying something about Nicky Jams. He was like, yeah, Nicky Jams is this the best Latin performer. I'm paraphrasing, the best Latin performer, and she is hot. Y'all know who she is, right? This, that, and other. Now, when he made this statement, I said, Nicky Jams is a dude. That was my first thought, because I know who Nicky Jams is. Good night, Justin. You have a good night as well. And don't be stalking Kevin Hart, damn it. But he trying to figure out where Kevin Hart live. I know you, Justin. I know. But anywho, so I was thinking, damn, Nicky Jams is a dude, right? When Trump is up here saying, how Nikki, she this, Nikki, she that. Bring Nikki up here. Where Nikki, where you at? Where you at, right? So Nicky Jams, the guy, starts to walk towards the stage. And before I go any further, before anybody make any comment, Nicky Jams' pronouns is he or him. Okay, so let's get that straight. So Trump said, where Nikki at, right? Where she at? Where she at? So Nicky Jams starts to walk towards the stage. This dude starts to walk towards the stage. And Trump is like, no, we want Nicky Jams. Oh, look. And he realized Nicky was a dude. He was like, oh, okay, it's a good thing you came up here. He did not realize that his endorsement was from a male artist named Nicky Jams. He just assumed that Nikki was a woman because of the name Nikki. And he was talking about how hot and how sexy, how sweet she is. And this fool didn't even realize who the fuck Nicky Jams was. Now, Nicky Jams, on the other hand, when this motherfucking guy said what she's doing, at first he thought it was maybe a slip of the tongue, but he kept on saying how she this and she that. You know who she is, right? She's sexy, she hot. When he started saying all that stuff, I would not have walked up on stage and shook his hand so proudly, like, really? I fell the fuck out. That just proves how much, what's the word I'm trying to say? Tomfoolery is going on in that campaign. Everything seems to be manufactured. That was not the word. Everything seems to be manufactured. He doesn't even know the lies that he's telling. Like when he's talked about the cats and the dog shit, he said, I seen it on TV somewhere. Well, that's what they said. The people saying it. I mean, he didn't even have anybody fact check that for him to say that the cats and dogs shit wasn't real. Now, I really don't think that he was intended to say anything about the cats and dogs, but he needed to drive home a point. So he brought it out. J.D. Vance is bringing his ass all the way down. I don't know if it's intentional. But I told y'all, the JD Vance that we seeing now is the JD Vance I always thought he was. When he was out here talking about Trump was like to Hitler, he's the opioid, a disease to the country. I thought that was the fake part. He only started spinning that story to get his ass elected. And then once he got in the office, all of a sudden he became a Trump supporter. First he was a never Trump guy. Hey, my facial B, I ain't seen you in a minute. So you about to be in the car, but you listening. Okay, I'm glad you heard. I'm glad you heard. That's a throwback from the past right there, boy. All my people's coming out. So but yeah, there's so much stuff about his campaign that just are not founded in truth. They're not. It's just not. And the people who are supporting him, I honestly, because I hate for people to be really this dumb, this dense. I honestly think that these people don't believe him. When he say the stupid and the ignorant shit, I think that these people be in their cars behind closed doors like, did y'all hear that motherfucker say that? However, the hate that's embedded in their souls, the misogyny, the racism, all that's embedded in them that's not good, that is what is fueling them to still support Trump as a candidate. They don't truly believe his policies because he hasn't laid out any policy. They don't even know what the fuck the policies are to support. All they know is that he is loud, he is making a fuss, and they like to be connected to that. It was a guy at work that was telling me that he likes Sexy Red, the rapper, who I can't stand. I know I'm from St. Louis, I can't stand her. But he compared her to Trina and said the Sexy Red is the new Trina. And I was trying to hip him to some other St. Louis artists that still have ratchetness in their music but can actually rap. And he kept saying he didn't want to listen to them because Sexy Red knows how to perform and entertain and make us laugh with her music. And I was like, so she basically a clown. Because, I mean, he's calling her an entertainer, but clowns are entertainers as well. But their job is to make a fool of themselves. And that's basically what Trump is doing to me. It's just, his job is to entertain. His desire is to entertain no matter how much of a spectacle or fool he make of himself. Anna says, you think the people genuinely believe that he's better for the economy. But that's it. They support him because of bigotry. And I don't understand why that they think that he's better for the economy. People who believe that, I really want to sit down and have a for real conversation with them. But when I see people like throughout, at least throughout YouTube, that make that statement that it's the economy that they riding with him, when I ask them what has he done in the economy that has been beneficial to you, or that you think has been beneficial to the economy as a whole, what is it? This, like, give me one thing, and they go off the rails on something else. Then they start either talking bad about Kamala, or they start talking about how stupid I am for supporting Biden, and he said if you ain't black if you don't vote for him. That's usually, I don't know why, I usually get that all the time. But I don't understand, what is it about the economy that they believe he's done. The stimulus check. The Republicans didn't want the stimulus check. That was pushed through by Nancy Pelosi. His name appeared on the checks because he was the president at the time. But I remember Obama having a stimulus check too. I remember getting one during that time. But they don't never bring that up. Some people associate gold and opulence. Hold on, let me get that comment again. My My laptop is lacking behind in the stream, so I didn't get the message. Hopefully it'll pop up soon. Okay. The cost of food and gas, they believe, was lower during his presidency. The cost of gas and food spiked when COVID hit. That was during his presidency. So yes, when he first got in the office, prices were reasonably low, but that was a carryover from the previous administration. That was not something that he did. He didn't lower the cost lower than what the previous administration had left him. They just maintained that particular level when he first got in the office. But soon after, COVID hit and prices skyrocketed and have not recovered since. I hear people talking about the PPE loans. Majority of the people that, or PPP, whatever they were, majority of the people who applied for those did not qualify for them. So I'm gonna guess they enjoying being a fraudster and getting away with it like Trump. A lot of, I think I mentioned this before, maybe I mentioned this in the video that didn't air. A lot of Black and Latino men that I know that are supporting Trump are only doing so because they hate women. They don't want to admit they hate women, but just from their conversations that they have, the reasons why they don't like Kamala. It all just circles back to the fact that they hate women. And there's no other reason. With the exception. There was one YouTuber that I used to watch. I used to love his channel until he made this statement. He was just a reactor. I was watching reaction videos. I love watching reaction videos. He was watching one of Trump's rallies, and Trump was talking about the gender reassignment, where he's saying, or him and JD Vance are spreading that if you go to school in Wisconsin, your child goes to school and comes home a different gender, the schools are allowing them to have gender reassignment within the schools. This is another thing they're spreading throughout this campaign continuously. I think I just heard it again just the other day. Megyn Kelly. I saw I was talking about her. So in the comment section and the guy, the reactor, he says, and that's why I'm supporting him, because these gays have gotten out of control. So a lot of Black and Latino men that I am have access to, because I ain't gonna say I even know them because it's through YouTube, but just from social media that I see that I have access to, that is one of their main reasons why they are supporting Trump, because they seem to be against the LGBTQ community. So Megyn Kelly, this is how it ended up on her channel, because I don't like this bitch at all. After Taylor Swift had made her announcement that she was going to endorse the Harris Waltz ticket, in her endorsement she made a specific statement about Tim Waltz being selected and how he supports the LGBTQ community. And she went on this whole rant and tirade about how disgraceful and disgusting Taylor Swift was, because Tim Waltz is the governor of the state who is taking kids and hacking off their genitalia, grounding it up in powder, and sending them back home as a different sex, while she goes back to her mansion and kick her feet up. I was like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? So that's, and a lot of people are believing that. I don't know why. It's like y'all comprehension, your education level can't be that elementary, but y'all proving it to be. Old Republicans still believe in trickle down economics while they love Reagan, even though it's BS. Some people associate his golden opulence means he must be good at business, even though he's 6 times bankrupt. Oh yeah, I wish I could have. I'm on. Let's see if I can find the Megyn Kelly one. If I could find that Megyn Kelly one, I will play that for y'all. I never really understood the trickle down economics thing, because who is it trickling down to? And then some people they are also saying they are supporting them because they think they're rich. Some people that make six figures think they're rich, not understanding that the tax breaks that Trump are providing for the so-called rich, you have to make over 100 million in order for those tax benefits to benefit you. If you're not making over 100 million, you still not getting the benefit that Trump is trying to give. Let's see. This is 5 minutes long, y'all, so hold on.
Taylor Swift, yeah. She posted a picture of herself.
Here we go. Hold on.
With her. Taylor Swift, yeah. She posted a picture of herself with her cat. Would you look at this? You can, of course. Like, you can kiss your sales to the Republican audience goodbye, Taylor. Hope you enjoyed them while you had them. And this is what she posts. Like many of you, I watched the debate tonight. If you haven't already, now's a great time to do your research on the issues at hand and the stances these candidates take on the topics that matter to you most. As a voter, I make sure to watch.
She's going to go off the rails, y'all.
Policies, etc. Recently, I was made aware that an AI of me falsely endorsing Donald Trump's presidential run was posted to its site. Blah blah blah. And the simplest way to combat misinformation is with the truth. I will be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. I am voting for Kamala because she fights for the rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them. I think she's a steady-handed, gifted leader. And I believe we can accomplish so much more in this country if we are led by calm and not chaos. I was so heartened and impressed by her selection of her running mate, Tim Walz, who has been standing up for LGBTQ rights, IVF, and a woman's right to her own body for decades. Oh my God. So this woman is fine with his plan to take custody of the children from parents who don't want them to chop off their body parts and put them in Minnesota court's custody so the body parts can be chopped off and they can be sterilized outside the custody of their parents. That's what led Taylor Swift to endorse it. Can I tell you something? I criticized her about 6 months ago when she came out strongly in favor of, she went to a fundraiser to raise money for Hamas, supposedly Palestinians, but the group that was doing the fundraising was known to funnel the money to Hamas. And I said, people should boycott her. It was an offhanded comment. People went nuts. Some lunatic dropped a note in my personal mailbox outside my house begging me not to boycott Taylor Swift, as though I have that power. I'm allowed to criticize Taylor Swift, and I don't give a shit who gets upset. This is disgusting. If she wants to vote Harris Walz, she can do it all she wants. But to say the reason she's doing it is because of Tim Walz's stance on LGBTQ, F you, Taylor Swift, and F all of the people who want to see these children have body parts chopped off and watch them sterilized under the age of consent, and then will ride off to their multi-gazillion-dollar mansions, never to think of them again. Emily, this is unbelievable. The left is losing its mind. She signed it Taylor Swift, childless cat lady.
All right.
Oh, how cute.
That's it, y'all.
This is exactly, it's not just
So,
that she's okay with
I ad-lib grounding up in powder. I heard she was grinding body parts up in powder. That was me. So that I ad-libbed that part. But the rest, yeah, she was like really upset that Taylor Swift appreciates Tim Walz supporting the LGBTQ community. And I just this is the information that
it's that she actually actively supports
that they spreading out here. It's embarrassing. Why would they believe that? I don't even know why they would believe it. But if you go on that particular video, if you go into the comment section, I might be mistaken, but I am the only person that was like, what the hell is she talking about? Everybody else is like, yeah, this is why I hate Taylor Swift. Boycott Taylor Swift. And this is where I saw all the comments where people saying they were going to Taylor's link and they were going to register just so they wouldn't get Kamala in office. So like I said, out of those 400,000 people who registered, it ain't no guarantee who they registered for. But yeah, this is the type of misinformation they spreading this along. And this was just what day she posted this up. This is just 3 days ago that she posted that up. So they got the sterilizing kids' body parts as they go to school. JD Vance said something about the kids going to school, and Trump said something about the kids go to school at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you pick them up at 2 in the afternoon, and they have had the surgery. They're no longer who they were when they went to school. Their gender has been reassigned. And this is supposed to be happening in the Wisconsin school. So you got all this being spread about Wisconsin. You got the cats, eating the cats and dogs being spread in Ohio. It's just so much that, and people are, looking at the comments, people are believing it. And I'm like, these people can't really believe this mess, are they? Are y'all dead? My new favorite word, y'all are dense as hell. I'm like, are y'all really that dense? Are y'all really that dense? I'm like, to think that there are, what the polls are saying, 46% of people in the polls are aligning with this mess. And if you're not aligning with it, why are you still supporting them? You cannot tell me that immigration at the border is such a topic that you support him on, that you're willing to overlook everything else that this man is saying. You can't tell me that the corporate tax breaks that he's proposing is going to be outweighs so much more that this man says. It don't make sense to me that we are dealing with people with this mindset. So yeah, I think that when the case is no longer in here, but Case was asking what I think was going to happen at the election time, I think she's going to win. I think she's going to win by 15%. But I also think that there is going to be some resistance like we haven't seen before. January 6th was just a preview. They know the reaction time now, or they was able to study some reaction time, how the government was going to respond, how the legal system was going to respond, because all them motherfuckers should have been locked up and charged with treason, in my opinion, including Donald J. Trump. That's what they all should have been for me. But they've been able to learn about what's going on. And from the first time that once Trump got out of office, he had already started working with the Heritage Foundation, putting together Project 2025. So this has been years in the making. We just now seeing bits and pieces of it hit the media more. But it's been years, and they not even afraid to say it now. Like I told you, I got the doggone manual. You can go to Kamala Harris's website. The whole Project 2025 booklet is now available on her website. It's the PDF file. It's not the actual book because they had delayed the book. I actually got it from Project 2025 website. I went in there and I registered and signed up. Like I was, interested in the organization. So that way I get updates and stuff. So the mandate that they were releasing is supposed to come out. The mandate is basically the first 6 months that someone is in office, whether it's a Republican or whether it's a Democrat, doesn't matter. The first 6 months, these are the things that they plan on doing to push forward Project 25. It does not matter who is elected. This is what the agenda is during the first 6 months. So they push that mandate out. They haven't released specifically all the details of the mandate yet, but it's coming. They're offering training classes in schools. Some people are saying they're already in place. Yeah, a lot of it is already in place. After he got into office the first time, they started putting in place different politicians in House seats and Congress seats and local offices who are already ready to step in. It's almost like a sleeper cell. If you watch a lot of movies like I do, a lot of spy movies, you will see that they got sleeper cells. So they have people, they have planets in different areas, and then at whatever particular time frame, in this particular case 6 months after the election happens, the sleeper cells wake up and they activate and start doing all the stuff that they have been trained to do. If you on Project 2025's website, they offer training classes for you to understand how to put forth the Project 25 measures, how they're going to operate and move it, how like I said, they're embedding them in schools, they're embedding them in the Congress, and things like that. A lot of them came in under the guise of being Democrats, so that Democrats would vote for them, which is, I understand when a lot of people say we're going to vote blue down the ballot. I do not do that at all. I've never voted straight down ballot. But I understand why they telling people to do that right now, because they think that being blue is going to be able to take over the House, take over the Senate, get all these blue people in there. But you have to look at who these motherfuckers are and look at their background. Like I said, when I looked up JD Vance, I looked at who he was, who he did his venture capitalist businesses with. Look at their backgrounds. Look at their voting history if they were already in office. Look at their social media platforms and see the type of things that they are posting or have posted. Look at for like one of the key things that people always forget to look at is YouTube. Because a lot of people create these channels they forget to go back to, or they get locked out of, so they create a new channel. Find a YouTube old videos and stuff like that, and things that they're saying, podcasts they may have showed up on, and listen to what the fuck they're saying. Because a lot of times, things that they are saying is either what they believe or what they have done or will do. So I don't vote straight blue, straight this, straight that. I actually look at the individual person. Because just think about it. What's that dude name? JD Vance used to be a Democrat. He was a Democrat for a long time, up until 2014. But his actions, the things that he said, the things that he's done as far as his business ventures goes, just when he talked about his book and his movie, the things that's in there let you know that even though he supposedly was a Democrat, that he doesn't have the values that the Democrats may hold. He's actually a Democrat leaning more to the right. Okay, that's it. But in 2014, he switched over to a Republican. What's his name? The Kennedy dude, Robert RFK, started out as a Democrat. Then he switched over to independent, and now he's endorsing Trump. His actions have always shown that he was not a Democrat. It was just his mouth popping off. Like I said, when Bernie Sanders was running, Bernie Sanders had to switch over to a Democrat. Bernie Sanders is a progressive. He's more progressive than anything. And I believe, like, when I look at my values and policies, I think I'm more progressive than anything as well, even though that I'm registered as independent. But yeah, I know they want you to vote just straight blue, down ballot. Look at these motherfuckers, because there is a lot of people just based off of things that they have already been putting in place over the years. And I said this when he ran against Hillary, that his whole point was to divide. His whole point was to create a civil war. His whole point was population control. These are things that I talked about way back then that are now showing and proving in everything that he does with his prior administration and after. Like, this motherfucker is not even in office, but he's able to pick up a fucking phone and call Congress and say, hey, kill that bill. He ain't even in office. You know what I'm saying? He did that prior to him even saying that he was going to run. Just let me know that he was going to run. And they killed that shit, right? So it's like, I'm just not gonna vote just straight blue. I'm researching the fuck out of these people, to show so I can get a clear understanding of what their history is showing me, as far as like what my values are and lining up with their values. Because I know that there are plants. I mean, at least I've been thinking it all this whole time. They putting people in office, and like I said, but if you go to their Project 2025 website, it tells you specifically that is what they're doing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if my phone about to die. Hold on. Oh, I got some good battery life right now. So yeah, I don't do the down ballot. I don't vote down blue, whatever. I look at each individual person, and like right now, what I'm doing is I'm making a list of people. I'm sticking it to my refrigerator so I can remind myself. Because sometimes you get to the poll, you're like, who the fuck am I voting for? I know this last little midterm, we knew a few people who was on the ballot. Then we got there and we was like, who the fuck are these people? And we sit in the car researching motherfuckers in the car before we go in there to vote, because we didn't know who the fuck these people were. And then there's a lot of measures that, like, I'm driving around town and I can see all the different measures that they putting on the ballot. And then I get there to my office and it's not on the ballot. Hey girl, how you? Hey sis. Y'all know Sass one of my favorite people. I haven't been around. I said she's one of my favorite people. I ain't been around no channel. My bad, girl. I have been around, but I haven't said a lot. Like that. Hi, Sass. Welcome. Come on in. But yeah, I encourage anybody, whether you Republican, Democrat, Green, whatever, research the candidates that are on the ballots. Outside of YouTube, how can we see who run and what they stand for? Any websites? Yes, whatever city or state that you live in, go to the election board website. The election board has on the website. The election board has on the website who the candidates are that's on the ballot. They also have on there the different propositions and measures that are on the ballots. There are still some things that are being added. Like I know in Florida, there's actually, is it 20 states? In Florida, we have abortion on the ballot. Whether or not they're going to keep the bans or what have you. Voting for proposition is Proposition 4. Voting for Proposition 4 is technically voting for women's rights. Okay. And I think that's why they probably call it 4. Voting against it is agreeing to the ban. There are a lot of states. I want to say there's at least 20 states that was dealing with abortions on the ballots itself. The state of Nevada, I know a couple of my viewers are from Nevada. It's going to be on the ballot in regards to abortion. Whether it wins on the ballot to protect women's rights, reproductive rights, it still does not go into effect. The state of Nevada, you have to have 2 votes, two consecutive votes where the measure is won in order for it to be changed in the Constitution. So if the state of Nevada wins the vote for women's reproductive rights, they vote again in 2026. They have to win in 2026 again for it to even be changed in the Constitution in 2028. So depending on what state you're in, you want to look at it thoroughly to see exactly how these measures affect you. But yeah, if you go to your election board for whatever city or state that you live in, all the candidates are listed on there. They should have sample ballots on there. Sample ballots are able to be downloaded. And it also lists the propositions or the measures that are being placed on the ballot in which you can vote on. A lot of those propositions, for some reason, don't affect every county, which is weird. Like I said, there's a lot of things that I was excited to vote on here in Florida, and then I got to my polling place and it wasn't on our ballot, which was it apparently didn't affect our district. But yeah, the election board website is one of the main ones. What else? Oh, Something I'm missing. Hold on, y'all. My battery on my laptop died. See how much juice I got. Battery. Oh, I got 19%. I'm alright. So, what state do you live in? I can look it up and I can drop a link for you. So, what else? The election board is the best place to go. That's what I'm gonna say. Best place to go. Like, cause once we did that, so like when we were researching that particular time, we were mainly looking at these judges. We didn't know much about these judges. Once I got off the sample ballot, who was actually running, then I went and searched for their actual platform and see what they have on their platform. Usually on the person's website, they may post videos, but their voting record is usually on the website or their platform itself. You also can go through your state's House of Representatives and you can look at the different measures that came out during the last term, and you could see how each person in the House, Congress, they do this as well, and see how each person actually voted. But a lot of people who are running for election, they try to put that information on their website. And 9 times out of 10, they putting all the information on the website for things they know is favorable. So then you still have to go to like the House website or whatever, your government website, and find out exactly what other measures came out and whether they voted yes or no on it. But it's a lot of research, and if it wasn't 50 states to do it, I'd do it for y'all, but it's a lot of states out there. But if you want me to look up something specific or a specific person, just let me know. I'll do it. It probably pop up on the community board, but I'll research the heck out of them as much as I can. The only person that I really had trouble finding stuff on last time was Tim Waltz. I was like, he ain't got a lot of information on him, but then I didn't, the place that I looked wasn't saying that he had already been in Congress before, and if I had seen that before, I would have been able to get more of his voting record. But yeah, other than that, yeah. So Desi, if you tell me what state you in, I could drop a link and I could, so that way you can like start your search there, because we got less than 60 days to this election. And there's a lot of measures on the ballot, like I said, especially with reproductive rights. So girl, who winning? As far as that debate concerned, I thought Kamala was winning. As far as the polls are concerned, they still kind of even. I think that Kamala's gonna win it all. I think she is. I just think that it's gonna be some extreme resistance that's gonna happen though, that's gonna prevent that peaceful transfer over in January. I think the transfer is gonna happen, but I think it's gonna take a minute to get there. Unless the Democrats are preparing a lot more than what they're letting on. Because right now, it seems to be that their focus is just getting people to the polls, because you keep hearing them say, make sure y'all turn out in numbers that can't be denied or can't be rejected. I don't think the numbers matter to Donald Trump. You can hear him in his rallies telling people that I don't even care about your vote. It don't matter anyway. We got it fixed, so you ain't gonna even have to vote again in the next 4 years. Then they tell you, I don't even like you, or I don't even care about, or I'm not a Christian, but I need your votes anyway. I don't think that they're gonna care about the numbers at all, because they're already setting the stage. They're saying that the Democrats are already interfering in the election. So I don't think they're gonna care about the numbers. Hell, he won last time, I mean, Biden won last time. Not only the popular vote, he won the electoral vote, and Trump still said that it was rigged. He gonna do the same thing, just on a greater scale, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm both. Walt, we endorse Waltz and Harris and Waltz on this channel. Side note, Daryl's new Walking Dead show was great. Also, Rick and Michonne was good as well. I didn't want to watch Rick and Michonne, but I did want to watch Daryl's show. I forgot what happened why I didn't start his show. Because this guy at work was always, I love me some Daryl. Everybody at work was talking about Daryl in Paris, and I'm going to have to go back and watch it. But Rick and Michonne pissed me off. I was so mad that they left their motherfucking kids. Well, Rick didn't leave the kids, but the motherfucker didn't. I don't know. Rick, they pissed me off. Michonne left the motherfucking kids. She left the kids with Daryl, who ended up in fucking Paris. Okay. And then Rick, I don't know if he was trying to escape, where he was at. But damn, Rick, you was gone all these fucking years and you come back and live with your kids. Say I'm gonna enjoy it. Okay, I'm gonna give it a look. Because I do need something else to watch. Because TV, I talked about this before too. How TV is really going down. There's nothing really on TV other than like reality TV shows, and like I got so burnt out on reviewing reality TV shows. I was like, what the fuck is happening with the TV? I now came to the conclusion that TV is not as thrilling or inviting as it could be because of this election. This election cycle has become our entertainment. A lot of people aren't tuning in to get educated or be informed. A lot of people are tuning in for the train crash. They waiting to see what's gonna happen next. Like I said, I have never laughed so hard doing a fucking presidential debate. And the crazy thing is, this shit is not funny. You know what I'm saying? But I've never laughed so hard, and I was laughing heartily at a lot of things that was going on. This political cycle has become our entertainment. And if you look at the TV shows that are coming out, all the big ones that everybody are waiting on aren't coming out to 2025 or later. We got Handmaid's Tale not coming out to 2025. The Last of Us not coming out to 2025. Game of Thrones, House of Dragon ain't coming back to 2026. Yeah, a lot of TV shows they're waiting. They're like waiting out. They're not gonna drop in the fall. I think we still getting Power this fall. But yeah, a lot of them are pushing it back to 2025 because right now everybody is focused on this fucking election. The whole world. I've been intentionally going to like other countries' channels just to see what they saying about the election. The whole world is focused on the United States election right now. That's TV. I mean, all the different news pundits, podcasters, they making a killing right now just talking about political news. Election got people intrigued. They do. But I think not 100%. I'm going to say 50-50. 50 people are intrigued because of they really care about the state of this country, and the other 50 people are just there simply for the entertainment value. I wish it wasn't like a 50-50 split, but if we looking at poll numbers, that's what's going on. That's what's going on. Like, I mean, the people that support Trump, they can't even understand in their own minds that all the things that the negative things that he says, those negative things are going to affect them as well. Yeah, YouTube done kicked off Candace Owens. I saw that. Tabitha Speaks, she did a video on it. I haven't watched it yet, but yeah, they got YouTube got Candace Owens about her. The thing is though, I don't know if it was YouTube specifically. Let me see if I can find it, because people can report your channel just because they don't like you. Remember I told you my channel, I got reports that my channel was gonna be threatened to be shut down. And I was like, for what? And then I had to go through all that whole thing with YouTube, and they was like, we don't even see the comments that was supposed to be so negative. And I was like, I don't fucking see it either. But y'all sent me a thing telling me that y'all gonna shut my channel down if it happens again. Well, what the fuck happened in the first place? Nobody could tell me. But as of right now, I know that that's still considered on my profile that I got this whatever imaginary strike out there. Candace Owens YouTube. Let's see. So there may have been a lot of people reporting her channel. Oh, she back.
All right, guys, welcome to another special episode of Candace.
She is back. I just pulled it up. Candace Owens is back on YouTube with the link that says Candace Podcast is back. So let's see. Let's go to her videos. She hasn't did a video in 2 weeks, but she's back. Her channel is back up. I try to stay away from her. She's another person that gets under my skin. Okay. Oh, I've had it. Oh my god, I love the ladies on I Had It. I had just I just hip Tabitha to them too. I love I Had It. Oh, she got demonetized. Anna said you haven't watched the video of her either. But her channel was gone. It had been gone. So she supposedly got demonetized. The thing with somebody like Candace Owens who has over 2 million followers on YouTube, it doesn't matter if her channel is monetized or not. She is getting paid. She getting paid for somebody. I don't know if y'all heard in the news the other day that there's a lot of podcasters, even some that's on YouTube, who was getting paid by this media organization to promote MAGA propaganda. That's the way I'm gonna say it. I ain't gonna even say it's Republican propaganda, but MAGA propaganda. And it comes to find out that this media organization was being funded by the Russians. Now, the way that the story is going is that a lot of these podcasters didn't realize that they were being funded by the Russians, but like the FBI did some type of thing on it, and they supposed to be all being charged with something. I forgot what, but they claiming they didn't know that they were being paid by these Russians. But my thing with them is that if you didn't know that you was being paid by these Russians, that means that you was willingly spreading this false information on your own. That's you just as culpable. Let me see if I can find out what that was again. Podcaster Russians. So I was saying that to say Candace Owens may be getting paid in the same doggone way. So whether she's monetized by YouTube or not, she probably get paid. It ain't gonna even matter. And like the way YouTube's algorithm is going, like I was telling Stas, I was saying before you came in, when I posted up the link to this video, there's no video attached at all. That's all it was we're gonna discuss the debate. That's all the title said. And I put a picture of Trump and Kamala as the thumbnail. My video had already been restricted. YouTube had already blocked the ads, and I couldn't get monetization off of it because it's not going to be suitable for ad. Usually they do that when it's something that you said in the video. So they're doing their algorithm AI check on you, and something in the video pops up that makes you not suitable for ad revenue. There's nothing in the video because there's no video yet. The video was scheduled, so I hadn't said anything yet. There was nothing in the discussion section that says anything else. She has a huge following on Patreon too. Yeah, most people they do. They have the Patreon, the Patreon accounts as well. YouTube podcast FBI. Okay. Okay, so this is from the Department of Justice. It says right-wing influencers like Tim Pool, Benny Johnson. I don't know who either of these people are because I don't follow them. But they listed a whole lot of other people too. They were being funded by a company called Tenet Media. They got 6 main influencers, but they got at least 7 million subscribers on YouTube. So Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, Benny Johnson, Lauren Southern, Taylor Hanson. Oh shit. My laptop just went out on me. And another person. They were being paid by Think Media, who Think Media was being funded by the Russians, and the FBI is investigating their asses. I'm losing everything. Hold on, child. Let me find my dang charger so I can charge my laptop back up, and then I can turn the lights back on. Y'all know I'm fat. I'm losing weight, y'all. Y'all just don't see it yet. Look at me making a mess. Move that out the way. Alright. Okay. I get my junky bed. I said every time that I do a video, I got these same sheets on my bed. Plugged in. Alright, my light gonna come back on. We back, child. Alright, so let my laptop boot back up and I can try to read the article a little bit about the Russian investigation. Jeez. Alright, here we go. Alright, so Tenet Media. The U.S. prosecutors say they worked unknowingly for a company that was a front for a Russian influence operation. The Department of Justice accuses 2 employees of RT, a Russian state media company, for funneling nearly $10 million to his Tennessee-based company. That $10 million went to these podcasters to spread false information and propaganda. So this is they're being charged. Wait a minute, hold up. In addition to marking the 3rd straight presidential election in which U.S. authorities have unveiled politically charged details about Russia's attempted interference in U.S. politics, it indicates how Moscow may be attempting to capitalize on the skyrocketing. Each time that the Russians have attempted to interfere in U.S. politics is during the times that Donald Trump was running for office. The U.S. Department does not allege any wrongdoing by the influencers. Some say that they was being misled and given false information. But instead, it's going to accuse 2 of the employees from the company for funneling the $10 million. But now, one of the guys, Pool, I went to their channels, and their channels is this absolutely fucking disgusting. Now he's saying that Putin is a scumbag, but he was like pumping Putin up on his channels for like years. But Sans mentioned the channel that I had it. I think I shared a video once from them. It was like 2 white ladies. The channel was IHIP, IHIP, but it's basically I had it. They be going in, baby. They be going in. It's so down to earth. Like you talking to one of your homegirls, 2 southern chicks from Oklahoma, just talking about politics. And just like we would talk to each other. I love listening to them. She said she got demonetized for talking about Trump. Really? What video? I wonder what video that was. Okay, so the MAGA Civil War. What's going on with the Trump campaign? Make Trump great again. That was the last video that she did, titled with Trump in it. She did an interview with Andrew Tate. She loves talking about Kanye West. So it must have been after that video, the MAGA Civil War, what's going on with the Trump campaign. That it must be after that video. Because after that, she got Andrew Tate on her, and then she talking about getting pregnant without a man. That's what I was looking up. Candace Owens. What happened? Okay. USA Today says that Candace Owens was suspended from YouTube after her Kanye West interview. She was suspended. Let's see, who's this? This is Hip Hop Wired. I don't know who they are. But it says Candace West's YouTube channel was suspended over Kanye West also. Apparently Kanye West is still going on his anti-Semitism views. Owen cited an interview that she did with Kanye in August as the reason for her suspension. So it wasn't the Trump one, according to Candace. There will be no show today or at all this week. That's because YouTube has issued me a strike and a 1-week suspension for my sit down with Kanye. This is quoted from Candace. They also removed the interview as hate speech, as it was mass reported by Zionists. So like I was saying, if people report your channel, you can get shut down. So apparently people was reporting her channel and she was shut down. So she wrote in a post on X. She also shared screenshots of the message she received from YouTube. The comment in question was Ye claiming that Jewish people control the media. That can't be it. That's the reason? Okay. Thus far, I had 0 strikes on my YouTube channel. I have now been, I can never pronounce that word, inundated with 3 back-to-back content hits within minutes, plus an email that I'm now fully demonetized. We all know exactly who is behind this and why. A spokesperson confirmed the suspension in the New York Post. We've suspended channels associated with Candace Owens from the YouTube Partner Program, following repeated violations of our policies. The statement went on to say she would no longer make money from the platform, but she could reapply in 90 days. So if she was demonetized just 30 days ago, she probably still not monetized again, because it says she could reapply for monetization in 90 days from the suspension. However, her channel is no longer suspended. The suspension was supposed to only last a week. But she making money, child. Ain't nobody worried about Candace Owens' ass. She's still getting paid from somebody. So in 90 days, they're giving her monetization back. Yeah. And of course they'd do it because she got 2.4 million subscribers. She makes money for YouTube. Oh, what else happened, child? So there's this new thing about boycotting Amazon now. I thought that the owner of Amazon was a Trump supporter. But if you go onto Alexa, if you have a Alexa, a little Echo Dot, apparently if you ask the Echo Dot whether or not you should vote for Trump, it's gonna give you a statement like, I'm not into politics, so I don't share any information about politics or what have you, right? But then if you ask if you should support Kamala Harris, it gives you like a full bio on her, a breakdown of all her platform, why she's good for why she's good and a good candidate. So because of that, now the MAGA nuts are trying to boycott Amazon, specifically the Echo Dot, and they're doing videos where same thing they did with, was it Nike, where they were burning the shoes or whatever, or Budweiser, they was like busting up the cans. They taking sledgehammers to their Echo Dots. Now I like my little Alexa. It's the only AI thing that I really know is specifically AI that I like. But yeah, Jeff Bezos, right? He owned Amazon. I thought he was a MAGA nut. But let me see if I can find the video on that too, child. I thought it was hilarious. Okay. YouTube. Yeah, I know I be trying everything with my damn Alexa. I haven't did this one yet though. Okay, here we go. So this is the video. Hey man, that's the Megan Kelly. Oh no. So this video, the question is, Alexa, why should I vote for Trump? So hopefully y'all heard.
Amazon is insisting that Alexa does not have any political opinions after this error went viral. Watch.
Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or a specific candidate.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a woman of color who has overcome numerous obstacles to become a leader in her field. Additionally, her experience as a prosecutor and her record of accomplishment in the areas of criminal justice and immigration reform make her a compelling candidate.
So the Amazon spokesperson telling Fox News did report this was an error that was quickly fixed.
They say it's an error that was fixed. But I didn't go see it on my own. I need to go out there and find out on my own. So if you was to ask Alexa, why would you vote for Trump? It's like, hey, I ain't no part of this. But then you ask me, why would you vote for Kamala? It's like, hey, she a woman of color. I wish I could have caught it before they fixed it. I need to go check it because I haven't updated my Echo Dot. I'm gonna check it anyway and see what it tell me. That's hilarious. So yeah, the MAGA nuts are now boycotting Amazon, it's specifically the Echoes and Alexa, because they don't support Trump. Ooh, the stuff that gets under their skin. Oh, the stuff that gets under their skin. Okay, y'all, we've been going for 3 hours strong. It's now midnight. I need to get some sleep. I got dark circles under my eyes. And I gotta get up and make some product. And I'm making some specifically myself. I want to give myself like a moisturizer, and I want to make myself an eye thing to attack these dark circles under my eyes. Bye, Sales. It's so good to see you, girl. Yeah, I need to get my skin together. I was trying to go research a new phone, and I was looking at this Google Pixel phone. I love it. It is too fucking clear. I looked at that. I looked at dead in the eyes. I don't know what y'all see on y'all screens, but my eyes look like black right here. And just skin, you can see all the blackheads. Yeah, I need to go do something to my face. I need to give myself a facial. So I'm going to go to bed so I can get up early so I can make some product. And I want to thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for watching it. If there's anything else that I missed, you need more face masks and okay, cool. You have the butterfly pea? Because I that's what I'm gonna make the whole moisturizer line. So I'm making I already got the toner, but I was using the honey one, the honey hyaluronic acid one, and I was finna make it with the butterfly pea and just make a whole line with that. I have not promoted anything for my business in about 4 months maybe. And I can tell y'all here because we family. After the accident, both accidents, nigga was broke. I was broke, y'all. Like, I was eating herb pie and Wish puddings. We was broke over here. My lights just got cut off yesterday. I swear to God. I just got to cut back on. They just got cut off yesterday. That's how broke I fucking been. So, because of that, I didn't have money to order supplies in which to make product. And so even though like I got to order in, those orders that I was getting in, I had just enough supplies left to fulfill those orders and get those out. So, but I've been broke. So I haven't promoted anything as far as my business goes, because I was like, if I got an order, I can't even fucking make it because I ain't got no supplies. I ain't got no ingredients. I ain't had no labels. I'm back now, right? I'm back now. I've been back at work since July 13th. My first check was only 6 days. My second check was only 6 days because I had to end up taking off again for another week because I threw my back out again. And then I got another full check, which kind of caught me up from the first 2 checks that I was missing. And then this last check I just got was my first really full check. That's all I had to do was pay bills with. So, but yeah, man, my daughter called me yesterday and she was like, we having a power outage or something? I was like, no, we ain't no power outage. And then I got the text message telling me that my lights got cut off. The last time my lights was cut off is because I forgot to pay the bill. I had the money. This time I ain't had the fucking money. And like my mama gives me money to pay on her credit cards. I was like, I had to take $40 of that and then put it with the last dollars that I had and get my lights cut back on. After I paid my light bill, I had 17 fucking cents in my bank account until I got paid yesterday. So I'm straight again and I have restocked back up. So I'm gonna start advertising again. At first I was like, maybe I should wait until Kamala get in office so I can get that doggone business startup credit. But I'm finna get back in to get in. So yeah, I'm making product, child. I'm finna make product. But if you want me to make you face wash, I got you, because I'm specifically using butterfly pea tomorrow to make all the products. Like I said, I want to make me a mask. I want to make a serum and some moisturizer so I could tackle these dark circles that I'm getting, because your girl ain't been sleeping like she's supposed to, which is the reason why I'm getting off this right now. So thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.